So we are going to be doing the ninth PJ podcast today. We have some really fantastic guests joining us today, and honestly, I gotta say, everybody in the podcast is a fantastic streamer, but a lot today are actually variety streamers. So there you go. If you want to check them all out, you can check them out through that links. One person is still streaming, I believe, as well, so please behave in their channels if you do go over it and follow, which is Artemis. They're doing a subathon right now, so make sure you behave. But guys, again, welcome to the ninth PG podcast, and I have the lovely guests right here. As you can see, we have Artemis, we have Mivyard, I could be saying that wrong, but I'm sure she can correct me today, itsTwiggie and RazorRedd joining us as well from like all over. Of course, we got UK and US streamers today. In fact, actually UK for Razor, but from Sweden.
In Sweden.
In Sweden. You're correct. Yeah, that's it.
I'm still very London.
It's still close enough. I don't know why I read it out that way, but I just did, and it just didn't work out in my head. I don't know. But what we'll do is we'll start with introductions, and we will go from, you probably won't see this in your screens, but we'll go from left, which is Artemis, and then go to Miv as well. So if you want to introduce yourself, your channel, where we can find you, and I will link out all your socials as well.
Yeah, so I'm ArtemisFrostt. I'm starting to get more into variety content, but I'm mostly known for a game called Goose Goose Stuck. I go by she, her pronouns, and yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, Goose Goose Stuck. People have been trying to get me into that for ages. Did you play Among Us first, by any chance?
Yeah, so I started playing Among Us, and then I started playing Goose Goose Stuck because some of the developers noticed me playing the game, and then I became like a beta tester for them. I was a moderator for them for a little bit, so I was pretty heavily involved in the game.
Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's like the evolution of Among Us, right? Where it's like there's going to be more and more and better games coming out from that genre, and it's going to keep going, which is really interesting to see. I think Goose Goose Stuck is it looks fantastic. I haven't got around to playing it yet, but I can see why you love the game. Miv, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself, your channel, and where to find you?
Yeah, hi. I'm Mivyard on all socials, and my pronouns are she, her, and I also am sort of into some variety, but mostly The Sims 4, another sort of life sim, like cozy games like that, and that's what I'm into. I really like building in those games.
I was about to say, I feel like Sims creators do have this type of aura where it's very sweet, and I can see your background, and it is very like aesthetically pleasing. It's very like pastel-y style. It's very, very sweet, I gotta say. I played Sims 1, but I don't think I played it for the building. I used to do some bad things to Sims.
Yeah.
I had a full graveyard for at one point, and it was great. I was like, fantastic. I don't know, it was because I was just an emo teen at the time, but definitely those poor Sims.
Yeah. We still do that. One of my friends has like, I think about 200 graves in one of her saves.
Is that even possible? Can you have that in one building?
They're all in her front yard.
Jesus.
Like a fence.
How would you even have time to kill that many? That's a lot of time.
If you see someone die in public, you just put their grave in your inventory, take it home with you.
Oh my god.
Wow,
that's really dark. It's really dark.
Well, yeah, we seem really cute, but like, don't trust us.
Do you still just leave them in the swimming pool and take the ladder away? Because that's pretty much all I used to do.
They learned how to get out of the swimming pool without a ladder.
Sneaky
Unfortunately.
Sims. You have to put a net over it.
Yeah, it's like a wall. But you can drown them.
Oh, does the hot tub trick still work? You put a carpet down, you put a hot tub on it, and you put them beside a fireplace?
I don't think so, but maybe. I haven't heard about that.
Okay. That's my favorite one. Dark. Yeah. This is dark. I don't know how do you know what? Yeah. This is getting dark conversation. itsTwiggie, would you like to introduce yourself, your channel, and what you get up to?
First of all, Sims players are terrifying. Like, what is happening over there?
I don't know what you mean.
Hi, I'm Twiggie. I live in Norway, and my dog is here, as I guess as well. I'm a full-on variety streamer. I do a little bit of everything. I love horror games, so I play all of the horror games when they come out. Big fan of like mystery, detective, point and clicks, everything. Game of the year is Dave the Diver. By the way. So yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Do you know what, Dave the Diver? I don't know where that came from or why it blew up so quickly, but it looks good. But I think it's like
it's fantastic.
It's pixelated graphics, and everybody I feel like a lot of us flock to that because it feels like I don't know, an evolution on games we used to grow up as a kid with. So I feel like that's definitely what it is. I actually seen another game where it's not as like Dave the Diver, but it's a similar graphics, and it's called Gordlets. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's very sweet. It's very pixelated, similar thing, but it's like a build sim. So if you check that out, I think you'd like it. If you like Dave the Diver, that's another one that's very, very cute. Very sweet.
Yeah, I think that I've heard the name, but I don't think I've seen any gameplay.
It's not fully out yet. It's just a demo. So the person's just put up a demo and left it. I think it's one solo dev, but she's done really well with it so far. It's just a small hour demo or something, but it's like similar pixelated, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's so sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
RazorRedd, would you like to go introduce yourself, your channel, where we can find you?
I'm Red. Oh, RazorRedd, and I'm a Cthulhu today, so I'll be an it. Why, just for today. Now I'm RazorRedd on all socials. I'm spread over a few different platforms. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, everywhere, basically. I'm a variety streamer. Mostly used to do ASMR. I've just literally dramatically changed my content back to doing mostly artwork. I've been a tattoo artist for 14 years. We play a lot of games though, as well. We do a lot of horror as well. They love it. I don't like it. They like it. I'm not about, so you like it, I'm not about that. I do a lot of horror. I live in Sweden, but I'm from the UK. I've been here for a couple of years now.
When did you move over?
2021.
Jeez, just after COVID?
I'm gonna be honest, I was backwards and forwards during, because I was in the process of all my immigration, and I was like, nothing is stopping me from getting where I need to get. So yeah, literally boom just then. So
was it easy to do the move, or was it difficult?
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly, at a time where the world was like, no, it was super smooth. It only took me 8 months to do all my immigration, and I actually just switched straight over. I had to escape the UK. I'm sorry. I'm from London. Come on. Yeah, it smells so good here. But I was like, I couldn't. I came here once, and I was like, yeah. I mean, you're a Nordic neighbor. You're in Norway, right? So yeah, okay, yeah, you get me.
I get it.
You get it. Yeah. Go on.
I went to Iceland last year, and I was like, oh my god, this is so peaceful. Everybody's so bloody nice, and I was like,
I saw your trip to Iceland.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
The Nordic people are so freaking nice, insanely really, really nice people, and then you go back to the UK and you're like, oh, back to this,
they are
back to the rain.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's shouting at everyone in London, and here Swedes just kind of write nice, polite little messages for each other and leave them in places, and it's it's a bit sweet. Weird for me. I think I'm probably the loudest person in Sweden.
They've explained so much actually. There's been so much
brilliant.
Yeah, I feel like that's if you're gonna go for countries' niceness, Sweden, Norway, and all those countries are all up there. Everybody just instantly, they're just the nicest people.
Tiny population. Sorry.
Yeah, this is true. Wait, what is their population?
It's 10 million in Sweden.
Man,
so that's the same amount of people that live in London.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah,
to say
we've got 4 or 5 million in Norway.
Yeah, Norway. Look at Norway's even smaller. So you go there, everyone's super nice.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
and we're also terrified of conflict, so that's why people are so nice, so that you can't yell at us.
It's literally because you only have to speak to 3 people a day, sometimes a week at most.
So what we'll do, now we get the introduction out of the way, what we'll do is we will go into, so this is an open conversation, very much don't feel free to answer if you don't want to, up to you. You were like, okay, I'm just gonna pass this one or whatever, it's totally fine. But it's more it's a very chill podcast, nothing's straight. I will just try and steer the conversation, but everybody can talk freely and ask each other questions. But the first one that I have, or first topic, is what made you get into Twitch streaming? I think some of us have been around here for a long time, some sort of new streamers. and everybody's gotten to streaming for different reasons. I've found some really interesting over the podcast. Some people have said my parents got me into streaming, or you know, a sibling, a friend, or there were just a lot of people got into streaming from COVID, and they're just like, I have nothing else to do. I'm locked in the house. I want to just do something. I want to find people and friends, and they just start streaming. So what got you into streaming? Artemis, would you like to go ahead? And how long as well?
So yeah, mine was kind of unconventional. I didn't actually want to be a streamer. I got like jokingly bullied into it by my friends while playing Among Us. Because I played Among Us with like a set group of people, and they were like, why don't you stream on Twitch? You're so good at just like gaslighting everyone, and it's hilarious, you know. So after like 2 months, I finally made a Twitch account, and I liked it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue it, but then I started playing Goose Goose Stock, and then I basically got sucked into streaming, and I never stopped. So I never really like intended to become a streamer. It just kind of happened. Yeah. Oh
my god. Yeah, to be fair, you suit it because look at all the plushies in the background.
That is true. I actually didn't buy most of these. I accumulated these over the past like 2 years.
They're very sweet.
Feel you.
They're very cute. Oh, you have some too.
It's the streamer curse. Like,
yeah, it is.
if you don't have plushies, you're not doing it properly.
You're not a streamer.
Nah, this is the rules. Plushies in the background have to be, especially if you play any cozy games, like it's required.
Which is funny because I don't play cozy games. I'm like the loud, obnoxious streamer. Like I don't do cozy games at all.
Oh, actually, speaking of which, Among Us, do you see these? I don't know. I don't think the stream can. Oh god, that's the wrong place.
Oh.
I'm gonna make her big so I can see. Oh no, she's bringing it over. She's bringing it over.
Yes.
Oh.
It's so cute. I've seen them in the shop. I had to buy them. I'm like, oh, it's so sweet.
Oh, you have an Among Us one.
Yeah. I have a plushie. It's just a plastic one.
I get one.
Wait,
I don't think I have anything Among Us actually.
You need to get one.
I don't think I have literally anything.
Oh my god. You need
Yeah.
one. You would see it.
God, I think I'm the only
I'm
person
slacking
here that doesn't play it.
You would like it.
Sorry, should I just leave? I'll just go. Bye.
Have you never played
You
it?
like it?
No, I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Oh no! I've said the words. Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm not saying it's crap. Like, I'm just like, I just don't play it. Too many games.
Simmers.
So
We
this is
play it
fair.
every
Yeah.
month.
I don't play it that often. I don't play it crazy. I only play it to bully my mods. I'm not gonna lie. Get them back.
Fair
so yeah,
I would
play
bully
it
my
mostly for
mods,
that. Yeah. It's a requirement. But I think the thing is with Among Us is that after a while you learn how people lie, and that's the problem. So then you figure out their patterns, and then you're like,
Oh yeah.
I got you. I've already
That's why
got
you gotta
you.
mix it up. Yeah. Keep them on their toes.
That's exactly
It's
it.
the best and the worst thing about playing with the same people every time is that you learn like everyone's tells.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some people will self-report and you know who that group are, right? You know fully well what they're going to do, right? And then there's somebody else. I have one mod in particular who just blankly stares at people through windows in one of the maps. And they get voted out every single time because they just do the same thing. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to, call them out. But in particular, they get voted out all the time because they just stare at people. And you're like, why are you staring at me? You're not doing any missions. You're not doing any tasks. Just stares at you. And yeah, they get voted out every time. So it's like, they're not actually doing anything, but yeah, they're always suspicious, permanently, just like everybody wants to get rid of them like quickly. Yeah, chat's already knows who it is. So would you like to go ahead, Twiggie? What got you into streaming, and for how long?
Sure. I've always like done some kind of content creation. Ever since like back in like the Neopets days, I would make like profiles for people and like just create stuff for others. And I did blogging and I did YouTube and I've done kind of everything over the years. So 5.5 years ago, I was unemployed. I was waiting for school to start and I was horribly shy, terrible social anxiety. And I kind of just thought to myself, if I can talk in front of an audience and like be the person to steer the conversation, then I can handle other types of social situations as well. So I tried my hand at streaming, and here I am. That's 5.5 years ago.
Wait, you've been around for 5.5 years?
Almost, yeah.
Oh my god.
Early 2018 is when I started.
Pre-COVID as well, yeah. Or
Yeah.
before COVID. Dude, I didn't think it was that long. I don't know why, but I thought the last time I asked, because I remember, I think I asked a similar question in the last podcast you were in, and I thought you were in 2020, and I don't know why I got that. I think I've got mixed up, but yeah, man.
Yeah, no,
it's on this platform, right? Because I feel old.
Dude, it creeps up. It creeps up. It doesn't feel like that long.
No, I think for me, have you gone to any of the TwitchCons?
Sorry, no, I have not gone to any TwitchCons. No.
I went to the 2019 one in TwitchCon Berlin. Made me feel so old because there's all these real like 18-year-old streamers, and I was like, I feel so old now playing games. But yeah,
I was there.
Exactly. Like, oh yeah.
I was there.
Do you remember them dancing on stage doing the floss?
Yeah.
I was like,
can I join in? Is this like this is? It's like, no, I'll stand over here with Queenie in the seniors cabinet.
I'm so old with that, definitely. Razor, would you like to go ahead? How long have you been streaming for, and basically what got you into streaming?
What got me into streaming? Pressure. Like pure and simple. This is pressure. Like I got pressured by a couple of friends of mine. One of them is like he's like pretty much my tech guy. He helps me out with like everything. They're like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Yeah, literally pressure. But I had no plans to stream whatsoever. You know, and then it starts off little, and you're like, oh, you know, I'll just do it every now and again, and then it sort of creeps and creeps and creeps, and then you get that I need to be there or my empire will fall apart. But I think it's been about 2018 I started, so I was pre-pandemic as well. And yeah, I mean, just from then, I mean, I'm an artist, so I started off painting, and that it kind of just it was. I've always worked in entertainment as well. I've been a tattoo artist for a long time, but before I did that, I worked in circus and theatre, so it just kind of translated into that a bit well, you know. Like I like being in the entertainment kind of sector and stuff, and yeah, I'm a loudmouth. I need somewhere to shout.
That's actually a good point.
Which is a great place for that.
Do you stream your basically doing tattoos on people? Are you able to stream it or not?
Yeah. I've streamed loads of tattoos. Like at the minute, since I moved to Sweden, I haven't been tattooing because I'm saving up for my own studio now. I'm in that grumpy place where you've been doing it for so long and you can't bear to work for anybody else. So, but before I moved, I was basically streaming like 3 days a week. I'd tattoo on stream, and then 3 days a week I would game or do ASMR or paint or something, variety, you know. I used to paint and stuff, and that's how it began. So yeah, like that's how it happened. Here we are today.
See, in Sweden, is there like, because I haven't been to Sweden, not yet anyway, but I'm curious, is there like a crazy amount of people tattooed? Or because I remember going to Japan, nobody was tattooed. Obviously.
Japan's different,
yeah, because of the
like,
Yakuza.
Yeah. It's like it's technically a little illegal there now as well. It's their laws have gone a bit sort of weird with it, but it's very frowned upon. Ooh, you're right there. It's like, the mic, here it comes. Make me jump. I'm so scared. Freaking Sweden. Yeah. There's a lot of I'm really critical of people's tattoos. I mean, I'm covered in rubbish, but like I'm allowed. I'm a tattoo artist. Like but I've watched people walking around and I'm like, oh god, no. No, we can fix that. I'm a fixer, tattoo artist, so I do a lot of fixing up for people. So but yeah, no, it's tattooed here. There's a lot of tattoo studios. There's some good competition in like the bigger cities, like Gothenburg and Stockholm and stuff. So it's but I do see a lot of tats walking around.
That's amazing. That's really cool because we don't have Swedish tours. We have a big Norwegian tour that come to Belfast these big giants, like, I mean, no offense Norway, but they're very, very tall people, and they come over to Ireland. We are all, yeah, exactly, the Vikings. We are all really small people, and you notice them from a mile away when they're in a tour, like, because they are 6 foot plus, and then there's the rest of us just walking around 5'3", 4, 5, whatever, and they all have tattoos. Like, they're all very tattooed, big, huge people. Like, obviously, you can tell how the Vikings did so well at that point, but yeah,
I think I spent my first year here walking around just going. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. UK's really small height wise, and then you got the Netherlands and the Nordic countries, and they're all really tall, and then we're just very tiny. I think in general, like it's crazy how small we are.
I've met some very tall people here. One of the removal guys that helped like move all our stuff in. I don't think I've met anyone that tall. Like like at least 5 times I stood next to him and I was like, "You're so tall." And like my partner's like, "You said that." And I'm like, I know, but he's so tall. He was very, very tall. Yeah, there's a lot of tall people here. A lot of tall women. Definitely. I've seen as well. There's been quite a lot of like tall women. Shield maidens.
Definitely. Miv, I believe. Mivyard, you're the only one left?
Yeah.
Correct.
So I started streaming in August of 2020, so actually just had 3 years last week. And I was like first introduced to Twitch in like 2017. I started watching Simmers. And then once Animal Crossing came around, I got really into like Animal Crossing Twitter. Like I was very active. And some of my friends from there started streaming, and I was like, oh, like I have a Twitch account. I could start streaming. And so I started mostly playing Animal Crossing, so had to get a capture card. Big investment, but I think it paid off. And then I got sick of Animal Crossing, and now I play The Sims again.
Wait, so did you get an internal graphics card or an external?
Just an external one. She's on her last legs, probably.
When did you say this was? When did you start streaming?
2020, August of 2020.
Was it because of COVID that you started? Like, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think I was definitely super into Animal Crossing, I think, because of COVID, partially. And then I would say that the like Animal Crossing community got me into streaming.
Definitely. I mean, it's a very nice community, the Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I streamed it for a couple of months for a while. Stopped. Because what I did was I wasted like, I don't know, weeks demolishing the whole island, like flattening the whole ground. Yeah. And then I had to rebuild it, and then I was like, nah, I hate this already. And I only built like the first front, and then I stopped. And it can be very addicting as a game. Like really addicting, and you don't even realize it. But I think through COVID, Animal Crossing got a lot of people through just chilling out and stuff, and being able to just be able to chill, really, like, and have something small to play. So yeah, I think a lot of people got through it, but I'd say the Sweet Games brought in a lot of new people to Twitch, and I found quite a lot of new accounts coming in, like people are saying I've just started watching because I like Animal Crossing or other Sweet Games, story seasons and stuff like that, and they were like, I've only just started because, you know, I want to see this new game come out, or I want to see a new update and see if I like it, you know, and things like that. It was just very sweet with them. Okay, so this one's going to be very difficult, and I don't know how everybody's going to react to this question in general, but I think we've seen a lot of people burnt out over the last couple of years specifically. I don't think anybody's, you know, I don't think we can avoid it, really. And for me, I've seen a lot, because I've been around for like 8 years now, streaming wise, and I've seen so many people come and go in streaming. Most people I know or started with are gone now, you know, like the friends you started with streaming all that long ago, they're gone. It happens, but it wasn't really something that anybody spoke about a long time ago, and it's now becoming a thing where content creators are a bit more open about it and realizing that it's not all, you know, sunshine and daisies, and never has been, really. And the fact that most content creators are their own video editors, their social medias, marketing, You know, obviously, you're a presenter in some way, shape, or form. You know, you're having to create so many things, so many different types of content, and then on top of that, managing a community that, you know, can always be difficult in a way where it's like you've got so many different types of personalities. Sometimes they clash, and you get in between it, whether you like it or not. So I find like that, all that combined has burnt a lot of people out. I don't know. I think I've definitely not avoided it myself. I think I've had times when I've been burnt out and I didn't even realize, like, fully. I've just sort of, not a mental breakdown as such, but like a time where you're like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay in my room, just not do anything. But how do you avoid it, or what do you do to stop it? If you've got any hints and tips, or in general just want to speak about it, or if you've ever dealt with burnout yourselves, yeah, if you'd like to talk on it. Artemis, would you like to go if you've got anything to say, of course?
Sure. I can talk about what not to do, which is exactly what I did when I started. So my friends got me into streaming, right? But I really liked it and I obsessed over it. And it was the summer before my senior year of college. I didn't have my own setup, so I was actually driving an hour and a half to stream on somebody else's setup, and I would go an hour and a half back. And by the time school started, I was in college full time. I also had a job. I was the president of my university's foam club, and I was still streaming minimum 8 hours a day. That was like my short streams. And I streamed literally every day, 8 to 10 hours. And I sacrificed sleep and social life, like back and forth, on and off, and got partnered within, I was able to apply within 6 months, which is insane. And I grinded for it, but I don't recommend doing that because I experienced the worst burnout of my entire life. And I tried to like push through and suffer through because I was like, I did this in 6 months, like I can do more. And it just got bad. Like I'm a workaholic, and I tried to keep pushing, and I burnt out. I think I took maybe like 2 weeks off. I had to adjust my stream schedule. I still struggle with burnout, but don't force yourself to stream 8 hours every single day. Don't do it. Give yourself days off. Because I was one of those people where it's like, if I don't stream today, there's another streamer they can go watch, you know? And I would be terrified of missing a day. Don't do that. Give yourself a day off. Give yourself a more relaxed schedule. So don't do that. I can tell you what not to do.
I know. I think it's great advice because a lot of us do. I did exactly what you just said not to do for a while. I did 7 days a week streaming, and it was awful. And the problem is that you're gonna spread yourself a bit too thin. And the thing is that while Twitch is great to stream on, you are expected to be everywhere else as well. So you're expected to be in YouTube, you're expected to be in TikTok, you know, Instagram, Twitter. And if you focus on the platform too much, like, you're gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna be sad. It's just like. You're completely right. Like, there's not that much you can do, really. You can do wrong, but you learn from those mistakes, and that's just part of it, really. And I think, what not to do is definitely it's definitely right. It's definitely right. Would you like to go ahead, Mivyard?
Yes. I have another what not to do. Thing as well. It's one of the things that my mom has been like the most worried about me with regard to streaming as well. And that is like making Twitch or content creation your entire world. In terms of like, I almost quit streaming last year because I had this big thing happen, and it affected like my work, it affected my hobby, it affected my social life, because all of those things were just Twitch. I didn't have like another bubble to go to. I didn't have another social network that I could go to that wasn't like a part of whatever was happening on Twitch. And so if one thing goes wrong, you don't have anything else to lean on. And so everything that then does go wrong, it feels a lot bigger, and it feels like it's difficult to get away from. And so when I had like this one big event happen last year, and I didn't have anyone else, and I didn't have like a different part of my life to go to, it's really, really tough. So one of the things that I recommend to people when it comes to content creation in particular is just have something else going on in your life too. balance it so that you have either friends who aren't on Twitch or like some kind of hobby that takes place maybe even not on the computer. Just something, because I think that you need to not make your entire life Twitch, and I think a lot of people do that. It's very easy to do that because it is a very like all-consuming job.
Yeah, guilty of that. I think I would agree. Yeah.
Touch grass.
Yeah.
Go outside. Touch it. Rub your fingers through it. Put your face in it. Smell it.
Yeah.
See other things. Yeah. I know. Well, I think like, I don't know what age everybody is here, and I don't like asking it, but like I feel like once I hit 30 last year, I panicked. I was like, God damn, I don't think I've done what I was looking as my goals, and I wasn't blaming Twitch for it, but I was like, I focused on it way too much. And then obviously I went to Japan and I streamed it a little bit, teeny bit, but we took 1 week for ourselves where we were like, no, we're not doing the stream. If the stream's affected by it, that's just tough. That's how it works. But we need a bit of a break and we can do our own thing. But it was like, even then, we were stressed and worried and thinking, okay, is something going to go wrong type of thing. But yeah, I felt like it's definitely needed, because if you don't do anything else, you're going to go bonkers, really, if something goes wrong with it. And I feel like, yeah, that's definitely a good point. Really good point. Would you like to go ahead, Mivyard?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree about like grinding for partner. I did that. I did it. But I agree that was probably like the worst burnout ever. And also just like the mental health that pushing for like make people know that you're pushing for partner makes more people come, and then you have the dip. And that's definitely very hard to deal with, especially after pushing for partner and everything's like numbers. Getting out of that headspace is really important and hard. So I would say trying to come to terms with fluctuations is really important, and taking time off when I get burned out, which happens pretty often. I have ADHD, so everything is just a little bit like more difficult to do. So like focusing, switching tasks, it's all very like draining, and there's a lot of that, like especially task switching needed in content creation, like editing videos, then you have to go set up your stream, then you have to go stream. Super draining. So every few months I have to take like a week off, and it's very helpful. Like it does suck because it definitely affects like your numbers the week you come back, but I think it's really important to know like that you need time off, and taking time off is definitely worth it, I think, in the long run, and not like pushing yourself to always stream the same thing or stream things you don't want to.
Yep, I agree. And on top of that, I think the ADHD part it's very difficult. Like I have it as well, and I feel like it's I never really noticed it until my partner noticed it. I didn't notice it. I just thought, I just thought differently, whatever. And I had a podcast last time, and it was about ADHD, and we had like basically somebody who goes on and to talk shows and like specializes in it on as well. It's a massive hindrance to content creation. It's great, but the hyper part is great. The hyper part is fantastic, but the thing is that once you get bored of something, you don't want to do it. That's it. You've lost interest. It's not there. You don't care. It's gone. You're like, what's the point of doing this? I'm so bored, and you just hate it as well. So I think if you don't take a break from it, you will be so bitter towards it. You'll be like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do it. That's it. So I think in that case, it's pretty important to have a break. Definitely, I agree with you. RazorRedd, I was actually about to say, would you like to go? And somebody's speaking about your tattoos. Would you like
I just
to go
saw
ahead?
that. It's like Instagram, yeah. Burnout. I'm actually hitting the burnout at the minute. Like I'm on that hill, but I'm kind of sorting it out. And it wasn't so much getting burnt out with streaming. I don't want to get burnt out with streaming because I really enjoy sitting with my community, enjoying like just hanging out. And we do run like a really nice kind of like hangout area. So sometimes it's like you've got all the taxingness of streaming and having to pay attention to the chat because we're very interactive. But I do really enjoy that interaction. But for me, it was the content. I was like I was getting so burnt out with ASMR. I was like, I have to tap another object, I'm gonna kill. Like, so I've switched up. I've just gone, you know what? I'm variety anyway. I kind of like, I did this dramatic thing where I didn't actually tell anyone what I was gonna do. I just ripped it off like a plaster, and I was like, the next day I was painting again, and I was like, we're gonna paint all week, guys. That's the way it is. And it's been a really nice response, and that kind of helped. But in the long run, the push for partner, like what you were saying, oh my gosh, like what Maeve was saying, that's brutal. I think we all know that. That's brutal. If they ever brought out like another tier, I'd just be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, and the having stuff outside of streaming and the life outside of it is very important. But like, I make sure I run it Monday to Friday like I would a working week. You know, I run it as a job, as a business. If I wasn't streaming, I'd have to go to work anyway. I was used to working a full week anyway, so that's how I keep it. And I keep my weekends literally for myself. Even sometimes when I say, oh, we might do a Saturday stream, no, we won't, because that's my weekend and that's my time. So that's how I kind of deal with it. And it was more the content that was getting to me than the actual streaming itself. And now that I got over that kind of, you're like, oh, I'm going to change it. You know, all the things we just spoke about. Oh, it's going to fall apart if I have a week off. Oh, if I change my content, no one's going to care. Oh, you know, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, so the viewer count has dipped a bit, but who cares? The community's still there. The right people will be there. We're bringing new people in, and that kind of helps a little bit as well. So sometimes I think it's not always, you know, if you're grinding 7 days a week, then 10 hours a day, then yeah, you need to. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not over there. You take a break, right? You deserve it, okay? I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna say you're taking breaks. Like, having the right people around you as well to remind you. Like, and I think that goes back, like, to what we were saying about having a life outside of streaming. Like, having people outside of Twitch. Because, yeah, when something goes a bit and your whole world is Twitch, that's devastating. And that's not only burnout, that's depression, that's everything else that goes along with that, like the social anxiety. I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to be seen, oh, everybody thinks I'm weird. You know, it's like, so yeah, so I deal with it where I just like run it like a job. Monday to Friday, those are my stream days, these are my times, this is my schedule. Stick to that schedule, keep that going. You know, some weeks I have the evenings to myself, some weeks we do a bit more streaming, but I find that sticking to that schedule is everything for me. The moment I go outside of that, anxiety, I don't know what I'm doing, blah 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 blah. So, but yeah, switching your content up as well. Whatever, do what makes you happy. I think that's the best way to dodge burnout. It's like, if you're not happy with what you're doing, then a 2-hour stream can seem like an eternity. If you're happy with what you're doing, you'll stream for 8 hours without even realizing that you've done that, you know? So that's my advice.
I want to, yeah, this is all really, really great advice. I think, like, especially outside, I mean, it's going to be harder, I think, depending on the person. Like, it's harder to say, right, go out and do other things, but generally it is a good idea, even if it's, you know, I don't know, just finding some other small hobby you can do outside of stream. Like, I went and started making like little Pokemon terrariums for a wee while, stopped doing it, but you know, even if it's something so teeny, so small, just whatever, but like, you know, because I think that trying to make friends outside of streaming or outside of gaming or Twitch sometimes can be very difficult for some people.
It's quite lonely, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
quite lonely content creation. Like,
Yeah. Well, the other thing is trying to figure out who's your friends and who's not. Who's your friends and who's not? It's just another thing, you know. It's like not trying to be mean and everything, but that's just how, you know, any social media is, right? Like, it's not like you gotta treat Twitch like social media, because it is a social media platform. In a way, even though there's like live streaming part of it, but it is that too, and yeah, it
we're
can
just
be
all people on the
lonely.
internet at the end of the the day.
That's true,
Right,
yeah.
So
Until you meet at events, and then
and then it's like, I know you now. Like,
yeah, exactly.
coming to your house.
Following you home now. So going all the way to Sweden, moving.
You are welcome.
True.
Your guys' setup, how much would it cost you? I said this to Blue the other day. How much would it cost me to pay you guys to come over here and do my cable management?
Oh my, you don't understand how long this took. This took 2 of us from 8 p.m. to, I think we finished at like 2 or 3 a.m. for all the cable tidying for everything in this. And that was 2 people as well. And we had to order specific cables as well. We had to measure the lengths. Man,
I'll get whatever you need. Shut up and take my money. I'll fly you over. I'll feed you. I'll pet you. I'll do anything you want.
I think it sounds great. It's just, I'm clearly missing out a trick here. Maybe we should do this more often.
Looking at my cables right now.
Oh no!
Disappointment.
I can't even look under there. You don't listen.
Yes. Do not look at my shame.
Cable trunking. You need cable trunking. This is what you need. Get like
I have to unplug something.
What do you mean you have to unplug? Yes.
What if you have to unplug something?
What if?
What if a cable breaks?
You have spurs.
Take something to the other room.
Yeah, you gotta take
I don't
it
know.
You gotta take everything out.
You have spurs of every wire. I have a full box of spurs. I have 2 boxes, 2 massive boxes about this side of spurs.
I have that.
Well, then you've got to. You're fine. It's. To be fair, like I don't want to touch the back of my setup now. See the monitors you seen earlier? There's 3 extra wires there that broke, and I didn't take them out. I'm like, no, they're staying there. I'm not getting them out. They are. No, you do not touch them things. But like, there's metal casing you can get for under your desk. You just like screw it in, and like nobody can see them. You can just there's hundreds of wires in there, and nobody can see them because it's like under the table. But yeah, metal things. I'll probably link them, but if I can find them, I bought them years ago, and yeah, just drill them in.
Like,
That's
no
it.
joke. I could probably. I can.
Oh my god!
I can pull. I got on count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cables that are running across my desk.
I see one that isn't even plugged into anything. Like what? What's this for?
I have this. What is this? It's just there.
You would make Simon cry. I think he'd burst out into tears if he'd seen it. He'd be like, "Why?"
Come over and just have a nervous breakdown. Be like,
Jeez.
Have some more money. Just
He's the worst for it as well. He's freaking the worst because like I have 1 cable here for charging my keyboard. Another one, he takes them off the desk. Anytime he sees them, he just hides them. He's like, no, I'm taking them. So I'm not as bad as him, but he just hides them. And I can't find anything. I can't charge my keyboard. I can't charge my headset. He's like, nah, it shouldn't be there. And he just takes it. And we have a Switch on the desk right now. And unless I have a Switch sponsor or stream incoming, he goes and takes it off. And he's like, nah, it's gone away. I'm like, but it's like, it's relevant. It's a Switch. It's like part of like streaming. And he's like, no, I can't be here. And he just takes it away. And it's just like, the next time I go on to put the Switch on for whatever reason, like I got to plug all the wires back in. And I'm like, this takes forever.
I'm gonna send you guys a picture of my cables. Chat want a picture. I'm gonna send you a picture of my cables after. You can have a meltdown. I could just take a picture of my desk, not even the underneath.
Oh god, it couldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
It
is.
It's bad. Like my partner doesn't come up here.
I want to see now.
I want to see now too. This is it.
Let's see. Like,
Yeah, that's it. We want to know.
maybe I could like. You want it now? Okay, hang on a sec. Like I can.
I
peek it.
kind of want to see it now.
You guys have a chat. I'm gonna get this picture for you. Guys, carry on. Carry on. Get the snack. I'll just do the peep through the. I give you 1 peep. Oh wait, I have to pull one of my PCs out of the way. Oh god, it's so bad.
Oh no.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's only half of it as well. There's another side. It's so bad. I'll put it in the group. It's so bad.
Oh god, what have we done?
It's so bad.
I can get a picture just from where I'm sitting. My
Do it.
tower is just on my desk. I've got it. It's bad. It's way worse than I thought.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, just.
Oh my gosh! No!
What the?
Okay, actually, that is probably worse than mine.
Oh, come on!
Here you go. Here you go, chat. You're welcome.
See, you can see, I got a box to put all my wires in, my cables in, but then I had to unplug something one day, and I never made it nice again.
I've got a lot of stuff, okay? Like, I stream, I've got a lot of ASMR equipment. I've also got a lot of electronical music equipment. I think I've got a lot of stuff. I need
Jesus,
more
guys.
space. Did you share that with chat?
Of course I did. They're gonna say you can't leave them out. Oh my god, it's not you too. What is
We
this?
need realistic setup representation. I see all these cute aesthetic desks with no cables in sight, and I'm like,
I know.
I'm never gonna post a TikTok tour of my setup.
Mine
Right.
is
It
like
looks
tied
crusty.
together.
I have a band-aid on my desk.
I need to do a world tour apparently.
It's like, you see this is all that chat sees, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel that.
I
See that?
got like bags. It's a mess.
Oh yeah, you don't want to see over here. This is bad.
No,
This is
it's-
Everything here looks like I make bombs.
You'd be arrested over here, definitely.
Serious. Like, literally.
Sometimes my boyfriend walks in and he's like, "Oh, it's getting a little messy in here."
I get that. I get that
know.
condescending, you know. Like, 'cause he's a clean freak. So he doesn't come up here. I'm like, stay out. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is my office. You don't have to be in here.
Oh dear, I gotta say it's between Twiggies and Razors is the worst. Like, but
Oh,
it
wait,
could be
I
because of
look
the
at
pink
Twiggies.
cables. Mivs is cute because of the pink cables. I think you get away with it.
Yeah, the pink cable.
Oh,
save it.
Twiggy, yours is so bad.
Hey!
It's so bad.
I know.
Gives me hope. Gives me hope.
You're not alone. Like, at least there's that. There are dozens of us.
Did you put the PCs back to back to make it easier?
Yes.
That's what mine are. I've got 2 back to back, so it's like.
Yeah, because like my problem is that like a lot of the cables aren't long enough, so they have to be like this. Otherwise, I can't fit them.
Simon's gift.
Oh yeah, he's having a heart attack, man. He's dead. He's dead inside. He thinks I'm messy. That's the problem. He thinks that I'm messy, right? And now he's seen this and he's like,
Reality check.
yeah, right, exactly. Thank you very much. Thanks guys. It's great.
So
Yeah, next time he sees the Switch on the desk, just like show him a picture of one of ours.
So, yeah, be like, you could be with one of these.
Just
This could
tag
be
them in
you.
the group chat.
But
Oh dear. I mean, the thing is, right, you cable tidy it, like, and a cable breaks, it takes forever to take it out. But, so, you know, technically, you've saved time,
Yeah. Huh.
I think. I don't know about
it's
Twiggies,
really
but
quick
you
for
saved
me
time.
to change a cable because I don't care where it goes. Just
Yeah, I mean, right, so cables don't break very often, though, because, it depends what you get. If you get a premium cable, they don't break too often. Mostly, I think. I'm sure somebody would find a way, but mostly. Probably
I'd
Red.
find a way.
Yeah.
I have like
Yeah,
the weirdest experience with cables. I have a few like USB splitters, and for some reason, just like every few months, one specific cable, like just in a random port, will just like stop working. So I have to like redo everything to try to see will everything work in like a new situation, and it always does.
I know
But
why
it's-
that is.
A pain in my butt. Why?
So, okay, so because we've got a complicated setup, we found out that, I don't know what camera you're using Logitech or Camlink?
Logitech.
Okay, that's already, thank you, you've answered my question then. This is perfectly why, right? So, the problem with it is that if you have Stream Decks, if you have Logitech cameras and stuff like that, the PC has something called USB buses. And essentially, so of course, everything goes into the motherboard, but that motherboard will have certain buses. So it'll only be able to give out so much power. So you should never have a Stream Deck in with a Camlink or a Stream Deck in with a Logitech in the same row, because chances are it's going to be the same USB bus. So you have to split up the power as much as you can. So high power devices, Stream Decks, cameras, anything like that, lights in particular that you have to control through that as well, can be very high powered. You need to split them up as much as possible. Also, it's the difference between USB 2.0 and 3.0. You need to make sure that you have the right devices and the right ports. 3.0, nearly all Elgatos need it. Don't know why, unless it's the old Camlink, which doesn't. But Logitechs are the worst for power. They can even blue screen your PC, and did with ours several times, but you need to split them up. What you can buy is you can buy a USB extender, and you can put it in, and it basically goes in your PCIe slot, and that will give you an extra USB bus, and you can put stuff into that. It's probably about 50 to 100 quid, but that will stop that issue. happening as much. So that's definitely sort of helps out a little bit, but it's still annoying. It'll still happen. You'll still have to move things.
Yeah.
And the other thing is with the drivers.
Like 6 months ago, I figured out what everything needs to be plugged into.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Like, why did this stop working? It hasn't happened in a while though. So.
Yeah, it can
I
be
didn't know
good.
that.
Something. It'll
My
happen.
Stream Deck has been not working for like a year. And they're connected in the same.
That's gonna be it. You have to separate them. So put
Like
one at the
it
top, one
kind
at
of
the bottom.
works. Like it'll turn on, but like it'll only it'll flicker when I push the button, but it doesn't completely work.
That would probably solve the issue. There you go, rogue tech support.
I figured this out when I got a second PC, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I had a little look into it, and I spoke to a friend, and it was like, "Well, you got to sort out those ports." I was like, "Oh, great."
I think
they don't tell you
just
about
need
it.
to grow up.
I'm with you.
If only it worked that easily. I mean, the thing is, like, if you get a motherboard that's, if you're a streamer, you should never get a cheap motherboard because it's gonna be like, I know what anybody else, it doesn't matter. Get a cheap motherboard. It really doesn't matter for you guys, but USBs on motherboards, if they don't have a certain amount, they should have a minimum of 9 these days. I don't know why there's motherboards with like 6 USB slots at the back. It really annoys me. Like, why? And it's all one bus, but like they should as much as possible, because then you have more USB buses. Normally it's like 3 to 5 per bus, so if you can split it up, one at the top, Stream Deck at the top, and then at the bottom put your camera, that should separate it, I think. Most times, I hope. But yeah, so we will move on to the next one, because we've had a few questions in chat, and I do want to give some people time to ask them, because I think some people have got 4 here at this point, so I'm trying to, including one about heights, and I'm trying to get around to that one too. But biggest takeaway from content creation. So what's your biggest takeaway? This could be anything from, you've discovered more about yourself, or like just in general what you do, or maybe a range of more skills since then that you didn't think you'd be able to do, that we spoke about earlier. Like, because content creation, they do a lot. I actually seen funny enough, speaking of which, I've got sidetracked a little bit, ADHD brain, but there's a company hiring only for a content creator, and they're hiring they want somebody, the 7-figure contract. They want a content creator for a year. They're going to hire somebody for the company because they don't want anybody else, because of the skills the content creators have. So yeah, that was quite interesting. They only want to hire people like that. But yeah, what's your biggest takeaway? Anybody would like to go first? You're certainly welcome to, or we do it in turns, whatever's easiest. Okay, definitely we'll go for turns then, just in case. Nobody wants to be rude. I find this every time. Nobody wants to be rude.
There you go. I went in.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom and think about it.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Yeah, Razor, you want to go then? Go
I
ahead.
had coffee.
Oh yeah,
And like
same.
community, like it's like truly built a little family here. As much as it's like all our businesses and our jobs and stuff. It's like I couldn't. There's a part of my life I couldn't imagine without the creatures. Like, that's what I call them. I just can't. That's probably one of my biggest takes from it. I've kind of always been self-employed, but the freedom to be your own boss and just dictate your working life, your hours and stuff like that is everything. Like, even when I was tattooing, I was self-employed, even though I was in other people's studios. But it's like, now that I'm just doing this full time, it's just never will I go back to anything. It's just going to be home straight. So that's been like a big sort of, I think that's like a big sort of, I don't really know how to articulate that. Maybe like not confidence, but a big sort of like self-achievement in what you can achieve yourself. And the sort of satisfaction of being able to fully, this is mine, I built this, I can look after myself, this is great, that's really cool. I rely on me to get this done, and a wobbly team of mods. Like, they're gonna cuss me out.
They're gonna clip it and keep it forever.
So that's probably the biggest take that I get from that.
Makes sense. You might come back on it after hearing somebody else. You'd be like, That too.
Yeah, I mean, you've all been saying stuff that's like, yeah, oh yeah, I hear that. Like, but yeah, that's probably my biggest take. But I'm gonna be rude. Can you excuse me for just 1 second? Because I'm gonna turn my fan on because I'm actually sweating balls.
Yeah.
Like, so sorry.
No, go ahead. Twiggie, would you like to go ahead?
Sure. I very much relate to that whole feeling of like having built something for yourself and like being dependent on like just yourself. Before I started streaming, I worked in customer service for a while. A lot of really shitty middle managers who basically seem like they just want to make your life hard. And I remember talking to my friends, my coworkers, when I was working in that last job, and I just remember being like, I have to do something to not be dependent on these middle managers ever again in my life. I can't do this anymore. So that's why I decided to go to university and get a degree, which I've never used, because I started doing this instead. So, you know, that was a good way to spend my time and my money. But I kind of achieved the same thing, though, that I wanted, and that is, like, build something for myself, be dependent on myself, not have to answer to other people. And, like, the confidence boost that comes with that is incredible. Like I mentioned before, like I was horribly shy, and I struggled with, like, pretty severe social anxiety before I started streaming, and, like, I still struggle with that. I'm not saying that, like, this has fixed anything, but I'm miles ahead of where I was. So, like, that's been, like, this massively positive thing in my life, that I think streaming has been directly responsible for. And I'm very grateful for it.
I think that's a really interesting point. Do you think having the degree that you have, or from university as such, I don't know how to word this question, but would you go back and just not bother with the degree at all if you could go back on it? Because I know a lot of streamers who have degrees. I didn't get one not because I thought I was going to get into streaming. No, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. I didn't plan it, you know, or anything like that. It's just, I was like, well, it's a lot of money. I feel like I could do something else with the time, and I wasn't sure. But I feel like a lot of people think that streamers are dumb. I know it sounds really bad, but you're someone who's went to, you know, university essentially. What's sort of your take on that? Do you think it was beneficial to you, or do you think streaming was more beneficial to you?
I don't know. Like, I think that there's a relief in, like, knowing that I have a backup. Knowing that if, like, I suddenly have to quit streaming, I have something that, like, can help me get a job elsewhere. And I think that part is, like, the security for me. I think that if I could go back, I would not go to a private university. I'd go to a public one so I wouldn't have to pay for it. Because looking at my student loans right now, it's not fun. So I think that's, like, the only thing I would change. I think I would still want to have had the experience of going to university and knowing that I have something, like, something to fall back on, for me, at least.
Yeah, that's a good point,
I
actually.
hear that so hard. If it all went, I'd just go back and tattoo.
Yeah.
Like,
having a backup.
Yeah, backup's important, I think. So.
Yeah, I agree. Or even, like, an exit plan if it does go wrong, because that's the thing. You know, you could do something stupid.
I don't regret getting a degree.
Yeah, I think, well, that's the thing, right? It's like, streaming didn't exist, you know, it wasn't a career, like, 5+ years ago. Again, depending on what age you are. But, guys, again, we're not getting to age, but, like, you know,
you are not old, I'm telling you. Girl, I got years on you. Like...
There's no way you've years on me. I'm not going to ask. There's no way.
Let's just out it.
I'm 30. What age are you?
I'm 37.
Bollocks.
I just turned 37 this 1,000.
You do not look 37.
No. Jesus.
You do not look 37.
Jeans,
37
ladies.
isn't old. I feel like
do I give you hope?
Her being like, oh my god, like, you're 30, you look so young. 37 is not old.
I feel like when people are like, oh, I'm like, you're 30. I'm like, 40 is coming.
Listen, like, every time I think an actor or actress is hot, they're like 40.
So, these are the people that give me hope. Like, and I'm like, okay, there's hope.
People in the furries are hot.
What?
Yeah, all the actors like you're really really young. You're like, man, you look like a child. And then there's like all these actors that are like well older. Even like there's a load of actors in like the late 40s, 50s, and you're like, guys, this guy's only turned 30, and then you look up the age, you're like, what? There's no way. There's no freaking way. You know,
I'm in my prime.
Exactly.
It's like the low end of Cougar Prime, but it's still prime.
Oh, exactly that. Actually, that reminds me. Yes. Okay. No, I got distracted there. Wait. Who hasn't went yet?
I haven't gone. I don't know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. I feel like there are so many takeaways. I definitely agree with Twiggie. I feel really similar. Like, I feel that I had a really hard time like holding conversations, especially with people like acquaintances. I just didn't know like how to do that, and that's kind of all streaming is. So that is honestly like a streaming skill that has been so helpful like in my life. I can talk to people now and not feel terribly awkward. Like even if I didn't necessarily come across as super awkward, like I just felt so confused and like I didn't know what to say. And streaming has helped so much with that. For sure. And I relate to like what everyone has said. I just graduated actually in December.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I'm not using my degree, but I'm glad that I have it. But yeah.
It's still an achievement just because you're not using it. You studied all that time, you put all that work in, you have all that knowledge. Is still a huge achievement because I have so many people that I don't have a degree. I have so many people that are like, oh, I got a degree and then I don't use it. And it's like, yeah, but you still achieved. Still did all that studying.
I am very proud of it. Like the school I went to was like pretty hard. And I won't share it because I don't want to dox myself. But I think that it probably like getting my degree is probably my like biggest accomplishment just because of like how difficult it was, even on par with like being a like successful Twitch streamer. And if I definitely am maybe interested in like going back into academia. That's like my two loves are games and like linguistics.
I good combination.
The other thing,
it's okay, we're all nerds here.
Yeah, that's true. We're all nerds. I think the other thing that I like, even if you can say you're not using your degree right now, you've seen the amount of jobs that say you have to have a degree for, even if you have skills in that. Like, it doesn't matter if you want to change completely career, they just ask degree and that's it. Like, it doesn't matter what it's in, as long as they can see that you can stick to something or you have the dedication to do it. They're like, as long as you have a degree, it doesn't matter what it's in, it's fine, we can give you the training for it. So it's really important to have. It's just seeing you look off like suspicious, like what is happening?
What's going on over there?
I just realized in your like cables that you had, Miv, you have the same controller for your LED screen as I do. I was trying to figure out what it was from. I recognized it. That's why I was getting distracted for myself. I was like, it's the same one.
Looking at our cable pictures ever since?
No.
Simon is though. He's in the other room having some kind of a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, do we know that? Like, is he conscious?
Should check on him. Like,
he's probably fainted at this point. He's like,
I'm gonna make a meme about this. Like, we need to meme this. Like.
Spaghetti cables. Is anybody else not gone? Am I missing something? Artemis, did you go?
I haven't gone.
Okay. I thought so because I was like, you took a break. Yeah.
Biggest takeaway, I feel like I have two. So my degree was in multimedia film production, so it was more so like the technology behind filmmaking. So I feel like I still get to kind of do something that's related in a way with stuff that I learned from college. think my main biggest takeaway is being on camera. I don't like being on camera, which is, you don't have to do it to stream, but it's something that I chose to do when I started streaming. Like, I don't know. I'm usually not comfortable on camera. It's not something I ever thought that I would do. If you ask any of my friends before I started streaming if I would ever stream, they would probably think the exact opposite, that I would do something completely different, like behind the scenes. So I think the biggest takeaway is just getting more comfortable being on camera. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think like I would have said you're more of a natural content creator, to be honest. Like, so the fact that you've saying that this is what it's gave you is quite interesting, because you just seem like very chilled, right?
No.
I don't know.
No, public speaking, I don't do that either.
Oh my god, yeah. Public speaking, I think when you're behind your monitor a little bit, it is a little bit easier to congregate your thoughts. Because you might be in front of a load of people, but you can at least have a bit of time to think on it, or even just prepare. But like public speaking, and then when you're in front of people and you're looking at them, you're like, oh no, it's not the same.
God, I public speak when I run to the shop.
Oh my god.
If I didn't stream, I'd spend all my time running around screaming at people outside. I need an outlet.
And you moved to Sweden?
It's so quiet.
I am not a public speaker, but I have like done theater for most of my life. And you know, if the lights are bright enough, can't see any of them. So as long as you're not talking to a group of people in a well-lit room, it's like there's no one there. Great.
Yeah. That's true. This one's more guild focused. Obviously we're all in the Switch Women's Guild, and I think it's been great to have that opportunity. I don't know if anybody else feels like it, but I think it's been something that I didn't expect to be beneficial when it first started. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of people in the guild now, and it's absolutely fantastic. But when it first started, I was like, oh no, it's going to be just another, you know, everybody's there, but nothing's going to happen.
Same.
And I thought I was being a bit negative. I was like, oh, it's going to be the same. It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be type of thing. It's like people won't meet each other or, you know, connect or anything. But no, it's absolutely been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed it. I've met some really cool people on it, from all different time zones as well, which is awesome, and all different backgrounds, all different streams as well. I've seen like, you know, chefs, you know, going around and taking over people's ice cream parlors and stuff, and a lot of in real life streamers like walking around the world, and just from the Twitch Women's Guild. It's been absolutely fantastic. But to get back onto the question itself, what has being in the guild meant to you? I'll just start with itsTwiggie. I think I haven't started with you yet, so would you like to go ahead if you'd like to answer it, of course?
Sure. Yeah, like I very much had the same mindset as you. I thought it was just going to be like a place, another Discord to have open, but not really check and not really participate in, because there wasn't really going to be much happening. But I think that all of the work that Coco and Chelsea in particular have put into just managing it and making sure that things happen, they're organizing events, they're organizing opportunities for people. It makes people hyped to be a part of it, I think. And just like seeing that, like every single channel is active every day, people are hyping each other up and asking questions and giving advice, and it's just, for me, it's like super nice to just know that I'm in a space where people can talk about streaming without judgment. People aren't gatekeeping advice, they're not gatekeeping like their own experiences or like what they have found works and what doesn't work. It's just, like we were talking about before, streaming and content creation can be a very lonely place. It can be a very lonely thing to do. And I think that there's so much value in just having a space where people are willing and happy to share like their thoughts and their advice and everything. But also just the fact that people are hanging out socially. I think that's incredibly nice. Like there's an event happening tonight where people are just gonna like chill and just share social stuff. And I think that's really valuable to have, that people are willing to participate in that. So those are probably like my biggest positives personally with the guild.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that you've mentioned a good point, the gatekeeping part. Obviously, you know, it's hard to type on Twitter and say, okay, X, Y, and Z, you know, because you don't want to one, annoy your audience type of thing with stuff that's only streamer related things, and
Twitter.
yeah, exactly. And the other part I find is like there's a lot of bad advice out in Twitter. Like
Yes.
my frustrations on not all stream coaches but some stream coaches, and I find in the Twitch Women's Guild it's very open, honest. This is the experience I've had with this company X, Y, and Z. What do you guys think? And everybody, just because it's a closed environment to a certain extent, you can say, actually, you know, this has happened or that has happened, whatever. It's very like you can speak freely without somebody being overly too much or saying, no, I'm right, I know I'm right type of thing, which is quite nice. But Twitter is just like, I'm right. That's exactly what
Everyone's
it
an
is.
expert on Twitter.
Yep.
Like, expert backseaters.
100%.
There they go to Twitter.
Exactly. Or X as it is now. I don't know what else you'd call it. X, I suppose. I'm still gonna call
Looks
it
like
Twitter.
a porn app, doesn't it? It's like, just to say that. It's like,
I
it
never
doesn't-
thought of that.
Doesn't bother me. It does. It looks like I kind
does.
of like open my phone and I'm like saucy now.
If you type in X videos in the search bar,
Oh,
it's something else you get. It's very interesting to see why he's done that, but who knows? Who knows why he's done it?
I do feel dirty when I go on Twitter, so it works.
It's a dirty
Works out.
place.
Okay.
It is. Like, you go on Twitter when I want punishment.
Would you like to go ahead, Razor?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just interrupt. I just jumped in.
No, go ahead.
I'm still quite new to the guild sort of thing. I was sort of nearly part of the Twitch's Women's Alliance, but not for a while. I was part of that group of people that were waiting for quite a long time because everything was changing and blah 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 blah. So then you finally get into the guild. So you're still quite new, and this is actually the first kind of like little collab sort of thing that I've done with other guild members. It's really nice. Just say, it's nice. But I think as well, like I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna go into it, but you know, because it's controversial. But with all the Twitch changes and things that have been going on, and you know, for a lot of us, it's been quite oh my god, what, you know, and then there's Twitter, and you're like, oh, and then that's even more like, holy hell, like, you know, so. It's kind of nice to have a space where I can't be as active as a lot of people are in the Discord, but I do read a lot, like, and so it's like just, you know, knowing that other people that are in the same kind of situation, that are feeling the same way. How are we going to deal with this? What are you guys doing? What do you think about this? What, you know, it's like that has been recently kind of cool to look at, and there's been a few times in there where it's been quite comforting to see that other people are also sitting there going, you know, that I'm just going to pull a face. That's it. I'm just going to pull a face. So that's been kind of cool. And, you know, the whole sort of like content creation can be quite lonely. So having somewhere where there's this whole hub of people where you don't put a comment and you get 10 comments back from people who don't know what they're talking about and are talking out their ass, that just want to on your tweet or on your what you're asking, and you know, or it's not like a Reddit form where you go through 10 comments of people cussing out your equipment before they actually get to the point. So that's been nice. But I actually, on a super positive note, I put it in there today, actually. I love the Big Wins channel.
Yes.
I love the Big Wins channel. Like, as that made me feel really fuzzy yesterday. I was like, that's nice. But I also like, it's kind of a place where you go, and because it's all just like, this happened and I did this and this is great. So it's like you scroll through Twitter for like, you know, you get lost in it for like half an hour and you're like, oh God, the world is ending. And then you go there and you're like,
yeah.
Like, so I've been enjoying that particular area the most. Like, I think that's really nice. I think that's really cool. And it's the easiest for me to kind of keep up with, because I get massive, like, I don't know, does anybody else? I get massive Discord anxiety. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but I'm well known for taking ages to respond to people, or, you know, and do you know what? I think it's something that a lot more people deal with than I thought. I thought it was just me. And so yeah, that area kind of makes me feel a little bit good. I've been kind of engaging in there a little bit more, and I'm trying. I'm covered in butter, squeezing my way in, girls. I'm getting in there.
I completely agree. I don't reply enough, and the other thing I do is I'm very Irish, and so I type exactly how I would to every single other person, and then I realized that okay, a lot of the Discord is US. I gotta stop typing like I'm Irish, and they're like some people have took it the wrong way, and I'm like, no, I am just Irish. I'm just very blunt. I do not add extra words in. I do not, anything like that. It's just a straightforward one-line message, and that is all it is, and nothing else. It's not even meant to offend. But I think I've learned to be aware that the US and some EU countries, not all, but some EU countries do type differently.
Yeah.
So that's something I've learned, and some people have took me the wrong way. The people who've been in my stream, Meadow as well, he's in chat right now, will know exactly how I am, and Razor, of course, same, but there is, of course, some people who've been like, what? Yeah. So I'm happy that everybody's sort of like mixing, and it's great, but I think it's something that I've learned, right? Okay, how are these things going on, or like how people type? So I think it's a learning process as well, which is quite interesting.
I can relate. I'm from London. I'm just like,
Funny.
in it, bruv. You're like, what? I'm like,
Exactly.
I feel like for me, like part of this is I like being neurodivergent. I just want to make sure that I'm being like very clear in what my tone is. So I'm just like, if I don't put enough exclamation points, they'll think I hate them.
Or emojis, right?
Yes, yeah.
You're worried they're gonna read it wrong. You're like, if I don't put a smiley or even just a little love heart, they're gonna fucking think I'm
I need to make sure they know this is funny. 12 million crying, laughy faces. Yeah, I hear that.
Very true. Very true. Artemis, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah. I just like the fact that it's all females. Like I like having a space where it's just all girls, because Twitch is so heavy in like the male demographic, which is fine, but it's like I like having just like a female only group, and it's nice because there's no one there to tell me that the only reason I accomplish something is because I'm a female, and I hear that so much in other groups, and this is like the first time I haven't heard this in like a sub community that I'm in, so it's just nice that it's all female and there's no one to tell me that it's only because I'm female that I got to where I am. I also just like the opportunities. I was in Orlando last weekend to speak on a panel with some of the other guild members that we had, and that was the first time that I met with people in person, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up getting this cute little pin. I don't know if you guys have seen these.
Sweet!
That's
so cute!
That's a guild?
Well, we got these cute little pins. It's on my
Literally, when all of the guild members are in Florida, the day that all the guild members are in Florida, I leave. I go to California for like 4 days. I come back, they're all gone.
Are you from Florida?
I am from Florida.
I go to Florida quite a bit.
Let me know next time you're in your
But yeah, I would say like the opportunities. Because not only are guild members helping each other, I feel like Twitch is also starting to pay a bit more attention to us, which is nice, and giving us more opportunities. And like, right now it's kind of like smaller things like IRL panels where people can make it to, and it does kind of suck that it's more so like US heavy, but I feel like it's getting bigger and better. And honestly, considering this is like their like beta phase where they're kind of like testing things out, I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. Like, I expected it to be dead, I expected it to be like another Discord, like you guys said, where like, oh, like we're a part of it, but like we don't actually talk to anybody that's, in the Discord. I originally thought that's how that was gonna go, but I feel like it started really well and the momentum continued. It didn't just die out like most projects do. So I really appreciate that. Like, especially like Coco and like Chell, like they're doing amazing, like they have been like on top of things, whatever we're concerned about, from Twitch, because Twitch has been doing a lot of things that a lot of us don't really like. And it's nice that we kind of have a voice, because like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't think most of us have partner managers. Like, people think that like partners have their own managers. Like, I don't know, but most of us don't. So it's like, we don't actually have any more contact to Twitch than anyone else. So I just like that we also have like some sort of like communication funneling through now.
honestly, as somebody who's had a partner manager, like 3 in the years, trust me, they are nowhere near as good as the skills. I can't believe how many questions I've sent them, especially the original one I had, and what I got back was like, oh, I don't know yet, I'll look into that. And she's come up 3-4 months later, like, yeah, still don't know. It's like, okay, great. I'll just guess. It's fine. It's just so great. But then you put it on the guild, and then you just get like an answer either from an experienced streamer that who's already done that, or you get one from Coco and Chelsea, which is great because they'll just go straight to the exact person they need to and get an answer from it. Like whoever that they have to speak to, whichever staff it is or staffs. I'd say there's more than one. But yeah, no, they are great in such a way that you have somebody to contact for like an anxiety purpose, but in general they aren't as helpful as what a lot of people believe. But it's also nice to just have somebody to reach out to if you needed it, you know. But I think that's what the guild is there for now, which is fantastic. Yeah, I think it's needed, definitely. And I also think like the top 100 streamers, there's very few women in it. Are women identifying. We all know that. So somewhere to be able to identify, relate, and just validate your feelings is really nice. Like the Let It Out channel is so useful because you can just like, oh my god, this is what's happened today. I just need to put this somewhere. Or even if you have like a bad day, that's just it. You just need to just type in there and somebody will be like, don't worry, it's okay, you know, I've had this too and stuff. And it's just validating, really, isn't it? It's like you're validating your feelings, like you're not the only one who's dealing with it, you know. Have I missed anybody? Yes, go ahead.
No worries. Honestly, for me, like in the space that I'm in, it's so easy to, you know, like forget how male dominated most of Twitch is. So that is something that's very lucky. If you ever want to get away from that, just come to the Sims category. But it's been, I think, really cool because Simmers and like the just kind of cozy side of Twitch is very, like, we're like an isolated little island, it almost feels like. So it's been really cool to, I've just been trying to like say yes to every opportunity and just like kind of branch out and like and be the little simmer that kind of, you know, like goes and explores everywhere else. Because I know like we simmers are anxious, we are shy, and we are horrified of other people. So I was just like, okay, so my instinct is to just be scared and like not do anything, but I'm fighting it and I'm just gonna do all the things that present themselves, because if I don't, then I know none of my simmer friends will. One of us has to do it. So this has been really cool, and like meeting all kinds of different creators that I didn't even know like how many chefs there were on Twitch, or like ASM artists. It's so cool to see all these different sides of Twitch that I never would have found otherwise.
Agreed. Yeah, you get to experience another world, right? Essentially, like you wouldn't have even been exposed to compared to what we're used to. I agree. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Have I missed anybody in this topic? No. Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to leave a teeny bit of time for the questions because there is some questions here. If anybody in chat wants to ask a question, please at me and then type the question. If it is a dumb question, right? There is dumb questions, I'm afraid. Just hold back.
Oh,
especially from my community.
Of Twitch chat.
Yeah, especially from my community. All right, you know exactly it. So yeah, tag me away. My mods are taking the pictures and the screenshots for me, so I'm keeping an eye on them. But you're certainly welcome to ask, and we'll try and get around to that. But the next topic is, what would you tell an aspiring creator, right? So we've seen a lot of people start streaming, and I feel like this is it's a good and a bad thing, of course, because you know the more streamers, the more saturated. But it's also, you're not going to run out of viewers. Like you're just not. But I think if you were starting 8 years ago, the advice would be definitely different. 8 to 10 years ago, it would be like, just get live, right? That would be the advice a long time ago. Just get OBS and get live. But nowadays, that's not really the advice that I think a lot of people would give. I mean, personally, my advice would be, don't put your eggs all in one basket. Always spread out. and be a bit more on other platforms, and just remember that your content, people want to see more than just one thing. They want to see a bit more, they want to know a bit about you and stuff. Obviously like doxing yourself, but you know, just to be you, but I wouldn't be like afraid, is what I would say. Is like, new creator, great, don't worry, don't panic. You know, there's always a corner of Twitch for you somewhere, wherever it is, you know, different niches, or you know, creative streams, IRL streams, cooking streams, gaming streams. You know, there's always something out there. I mean, there's body painters as well, so there's loads of stuff out there to do. Like, it's just up to you on what type of corner you want to go into, or even just the, you know, somehow get to the top 100 streamers corner. That's a great one to be in, but like anything like that, I think that would be my advice. Would anybody like to go? Miv, would you like to go?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think what a lot of people, like a lot of streamers, would give advice to new creators, like, get on all the platforms, like, don't just focus on Twitch, but specifically on Twitch. Like, I feel like that advice is pretty readily available, and I think people are starting to kind of learn that, is don't just stream like one game. I would really suggest starting out in variety if you're a gamer, because I streamed Animal Crossing for like a year, only Animal Crossing. I grew a lot, yeah, but oh my god, I hardly ever play it, and it's gonna hurt when you decide you don't want to stream that game anymore. You're gonna get bored of it. Just don't do it. Just start with variety and do what makes you happy. And if your content is not making you happy anymore, just change it. Like, follow your heart, don't follow the numbers.
Solid advice, definitely. Razor, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, same things with the street. Do what makes you happy. Like, if you're happy, your community is happy, because it's entertainment. Nobody wants to watch a miserable streamer. Like, people come to see for fun. So do what makes you happy. You're happy, chat's happy. Don't give up your day job straight away and just start streaming. Like, I've seen so many people kind of do this. Like, the expectations of making the kind of revenue that you can actually sustain a life off of and live off of at the beginning. It does happen for some people, but the vast majority of people, it's like a build, you know, and it's spread over different platforms as well. Like, the same, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, I've got my finger in a few pies, and I think that's really important to have. Lost my words. Do what makes you happy. Keep politics out of your chat as much as possible, because sometimes, I don't know, actually, that's personal preference, but I kind of think that, like, it's the same thing as, like, kind of remembering that, like, it's a place of entertainment. I'm not trying to tell anyone how to feel or how they should be, or that you should get on stream and just always be smiling, because that doesn't happen. Like, you know, my community know when I'm grumpy, they know when I'm pissed off. They're there to support, they're there to help. But I feel like there are certain things, if you can keep them out as much as possible, you're going to be happier. Because it's like the Twitter effect. Like, it's a Twitch chat, it's an open chat room, and like anything can happen and everybody gets triggered. And so we keep that's how I kind of like started, and that's how I've carried on, and that's been like a really big help to keep people sort of entertained. But yeah, I mean, yeah, politics and religion should be as private as much as possible. Sorry, I just saw that in the chat. But yeah, like, just expectations of revenue from the beginning. If you're starting off, like, what I say to people is, like, all this in the background, your life, your bills, all the necessities, the utilities, if that doesn't run properly, then we can't have this. You can't have that. Keep that running good, keep that going, ease your way into it, and then when you're ready, if it gets to that point, there you go, you got it. Have a backup.
Agreed. Yeah.
Always have a backup. At the end of the day, we all work on these websites, and they're big businesses that we're not fully in control of. Anything can happen. Big changes happen, big rise. So have a backup. Security, I think, is like probably the biggest advice I would give to people starting out. And just have fun. Have a good time. If you're not having fun, gotta have fun.
Exactly. I think that's a good point. The religion and politics thing, is an interesting one because it is, depending on where you are in the world, it is a controversial topic. I live in Northern Ireland, so if I say I support one or the other, I could have somebody at my house, you know, and that's not good, of course, because of where I live. You can't be one side or the other. I'm very much non-religious and stuff anyway, but, you know, you can't where I live. But there is a difference. I gotta say, there's a difference between politics, religion, and human rights. So anybody in chat saying, oh, you know, type of thing, depending on what country you're in, it is different. So I have a no politics and no religion, but that doesn't mean they can't speak about their human rights and, you know, their country and stuff like that. If something's being, you know, on their mind, always fine with that. It's the politics part, you know, and I find that my biggest issue with that was 2018, 2019 with the US. Where I have nothing to do with it. I'm in Ireland, but I find that was very much, I had to enforce that rule. That was straight it. That was like, yep,
I banned it.
Have to have that
Yeah,
rule.
I was like, none, none. We can't do it. Like,
Both
I'm
names
sorry.
were banned in my channel. I was like, nope, nothing to do with me.
I banned it in the bot. I was like, you can't even type it. You can't even type it. Like, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like some political climates are so big that it's like, just it engulfs everyone, you know, because it's like it's social media. But it's like I find a happy chat. We try to, but don't get me wrong, we do pop off sometimes a little bit. Like we keep it, you know, it's like everybody gets a bit, it's like simmer down now, come on, like calm down. But we do try to keep it as much as possible. Every now and again, we have a chat as a community if there's a big current event happening or something. Things, because some things are just itching to get out. They won't be contained. Like, so we have like a sort of controlled little chat about it. And then that moment that it starts to peak, because you know how it can go, it's like, then we kind of just bring it back around. All right, back to what we were doing. That was lovely. Great stuff. Talk about it in the Discord, whatever. Let's play this game.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, whatever we're doing. I don't know, whatever we're doing.
Yeah,
It
it's like
works.
definitely a balance of speaking out about what is important, which is very, like, I care about that a lot, and maintaining a safe and like warm space, especially for marginalized people, because you can't always be fighting. So you know, you have to kind of strike that balance with, we do want to like talk about current events when they come up, but at the same time also like try to keep the environment positive so we can kind of get away from all the horrible things that happen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Try
a
and
really
give
good point,
people a
actually.
place to escape.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everybody gets in from work, and we've all been out. Everyone's probably all been talking about it at work. It's been all over your phone. It's been all over the newspapers. It's been, and it's like, okay, you can come here, and we're all gonna chill. We're gonna chill. You can escape that for a little while. You can be kind to yourself for a few hours, you know. And it's part of self-care for people is entertainment, isn't it? And that's what they come to us for. They come to us for entertainment. So I would say to people that, a big part of advice is that, you know, no matter how angry you are about some stuff that is going on, press in, go live on your stream and shouting at the first person that comes into the chat, like, did you see? Did you see? Like, it's like, you know, there's like, I've seen that, you know, and you're like, you're so cool when you're not being an ass. Like,
Yeah.
It's very true. I completely agree with that. Like, it's just sometimes you just need a chill area to go, and streams just that, really. Artemis, would you like to go ahead? If you've got any, of course, don't feel pressure, of course, but what would you tell an aspiring creator who would just want to start streaming now?
Yeah, kind of bouncing off what you guys were saying. I would say just like any boundaries or rules that you have, go ahead and establish them and stick to them. Like when I first started out, I decided I want to be, PG-13. These are the rules that I want to have. These are the boundaries. And sometimes there would be some people where it was like almost like this parasocial thing where it's like, oh, well, like I'm in your chat all the time, so I can break your rules and stuff. So like I started out more on the passive side until, I grew more of a backbone. So even though I wouldn't be able to necessarily like handle it when I first started out, like my mods would do that for me, So if you feel like, you want boundaries and rules, if you feel like you can't do it, get your mods to do it. Like that's what they're there for. They're there to help you make your lives easier. Make sure that you trust your mods as well. That's another thing. Your mods are like, they're not the ones that are streaming, but they're there almost every time you go live, they're there to help you, so make sure that you have people that are, there to help you be on top of things and, do things like sometimes you're also like in a game, for those of us who play video games, sometimes we might not see things instantly. So I would say moderators as well. I would say also the games, don't start, single game. That's probably I would have said differently a year ago, but starting variety is probably the best thing to do because I started with Goose Goose Duck and I love the game. But playing it 8+ hours every single day, up until recently for 2 years straight, it's kind of a lot because there's 16 people lobbies, which means I'm having to deal with 15 other people at the same time while also keeping up with chat. And it's just nonstop. And like, it's one of those games where it goes like in and out of phases being popular. So I would have 15 people, I would have my stream, and then I would also have like a queue going on. And sometimes like a year ago, I would have like 20 people in a queue. And, I would call people's names sometimes and then they just like wouldn't show up. And then 30 minutes later, they'd come back in my stream, like being really, really upset that I didn't let them in. And it was kind of nice. It would have been nice to have a break sometimes, playing something else, like a solo game or something. So I would say, like, obviously, like, do TikTok, YouTube, put your eggs in different baskets when it comes to, like, platforms and stuff. But I would also say games, do other things as well. Give yourself a break. You might not even know that you need a break until you take a break. So do variety and don't just stick to one game. Even though it's a lot more stressful, it's a lot more difficult, start with variety. It's so much easier.
It's freaking great advice. There is another question because you're PG-13. So I don't know if you get this as much because the people that would be either quite younger or would be a bit more, I wouldn't just say respectful, probably more respectful because they might have their kid with them or whatever. They're a bit more conscious of what they're saying. How do you deal with creeps in general, right? That's the nicest thing I can say is calling them creeps because like what my mods do and what they do is like somebody comes in and says, "Hi, beautiful," and the mods will be like, "Hello, how's it going, dudes?" And just say, "Thank you, I've been working, on my appearance today, and I've manscaped or whatever." Like generally that's what they'll do. They'll reply with that. That's what they'll do. I'll let them take care of the people that do it. Does it happen a lot for a PG-13 stream or not as much?
Oh yeah, I feel like people especially like it because I'm PG-13. Like people want to toe the line because 18 plus you can get away with saying more things, more off the wall things. Yeah. But people that are pushing the boundaries and streams that are 18 plus, it's even better for them for PG-13 channels, because it's even more kind of like against rules and boundaries and stuff. So it's not that I don't get it as often. It's more so just like insta deletes, insta bans, depending on how bad it is. Just kind of like not talking about it and just moving on. It depends on what it is though. But yeah, it definitely still happens.
Yeah, makes sense. I was curious because it was like, is it worse? No,
definitely still happens.
Yeah. Twiggie, I believe you're the last one, could be wrong, guys. My brain's like melted, but yes, have you got any advice you would tell an aspiring creator?
Yeah, I think that the biggest advice, I used to be able to go on about this topic for hours, by the way, but I think that the biggest thing that I would recommend is just like manage your expectations. Keep in mind that like most of the big streamers out there, they're big because they were early. They were early and or they were lucky. And like most of them will agree with that as well. Like they didn't necessarily do anything special to get there. They were just there first. And I think like I see a lot of new streamers look at the big streamers or look at people who have been doing this for years and they see the trajectory that they had and then they're expecting the same for themselves. And I think I saw a statistic at one point that like something like 80% of new streamers quit within the first 3 months. And like that's ridiculous, but I get it because I think a lot of people have like these expectations from when they start streaming, either about growth or about income or anything like that, and then that doesn't necessarily happen because it happens to very few people ultimately. And man, that's discouraging. So manage your expectations, make sure you're doing it because you enjoy creating. If you don't enjoy creating, then ultimately you're not going to enjoy being a streamer, even if you get a lot of viewership. So have that as like the baseline. Do it because you enjoy doing it. And as someone who also had to grow a bit of a backbone early on because people try to take advantage, or people try to like take control, or people try that they had more, like they thought that they had more influence than they should have had. Learn about parasocial relationships, learn about like the ways that they can form, what you can do about it. And I very much agree in like setting boundaries, understanding what you want from your stream, understanding what you want from your community, and make sure that you enforce that early on, because the longer you take to start enforcing it, the worse it's going to be. So I think those are like my two biggest pieces of advice. Oh, and don't spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on equipment early on. I did that. Shouldn't have done it. Don't spend like a ton of money right away.
Yeah, I just to be clear, I didn't spend hardly any money on my setup because we've been around for a long time, so it's just pieces and pieces and then sponsors here and there. But yeah. I get a lot of people, especially younger audience members, come in, 16 to 18 in particular. They're like, God, you must be, either wealthy to buy this setup. I was thinking of buying a load of stuff. I'm like, no, do not. I started on a 480p Microsoft, what was it called? Microcam or something back a long time ago with one monitor, and I was trying to reach Twitch chat on my phone.
I did the same.
I remember that. Yeah.
You don't just
do that.
I didn't have a webcam, but I had a gaming PC. So like I streamed from my gaming PC, looked at chat on my phone, and I called myself on Discord from my MacBook for the webcam.
Yeah.
Dedication.
That's exactly what it was like in like a couple of years ago, but there's a lot of younger creators who are just like, I'm gonna buy the best stuff. And while there has been some success of people who have went and bought the best stuff, Harris Heller is a prime example, that is not realistic. I get that he is from a wealthier family, so that was possible, but that's not for everybody, and it's not a good idea, and is not a return on investment in that way. It doesn't work that way. You can't see it. You can see it as a hobby at the start, and if it grows, great. But it's unrealistic to think that you're going to be.
It's taken me about 5 odd years to build up all my kit that I've got. Like,
same.
It's taken
same.
a while,
Yeah.
Like, I still have one of the first bashy ass monitors that I started with. Do not do this because you think it's easy.
Yeah, no, my first light was a desk lamp from IKEA. It cost like $20. And to diffuse the light, because it was very harsh, I just taped some like paper over it.
That's a great idea.
Oh, I have mine, my walls are white, so I have it like deflecting off a wall.
Yeah.
But then the coloring is weird, so I have a pink flamingo that's like $15 from Amazon that's bouncing off right now. Yeah, you work with what works, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
That's true. Improvise, as exactly everybody's proven here. We did the same with Elgato light. It was too bright. We turned it around to the back, and it actually really works. So you can diffuse it as much as you can, or you can even get I don't know, a very light pair of tights, and you can put it around it. Works. Actually works.
I've done that before. Throw something over the top, and you're like, that works. I'm still using the same ring light I got at the beginning, actually, because I use things until they're dead.
Same.
Until they're really crumbling. Like chat.
There's no point in getting something new if it works.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Like chat were laughing at the state of my headset at the minute. It's pretty bad, but I can still hear. So that's okay. But yeah, this is still my first ring light, and it's actually being held up right now and surviving with a really old bit of Batman duct tape. But I could put a new bit of duct tape around it. But...
Try and reach out to Elgato. They might send you one. But I don't know. I
have quite a few ring lights, because I do other content and stuff. But this one, I'm like, it's still going.
It looks good. It looks good. There's no reason to change it. If it works, don't change it. It's just a waste then.
It's half hanging over my monitor right now. But it's working.
So what we'll do, we have a couple of questions. Anybody else has got a question in chat that is not stupid? Again, you can at me. Or just at me in particular so I can read them out. But yeah, you can at me and I will get round to it. If it's stupid, I will ignore. But yes, just in case I haven't seen yours. But there is a question that I seen earlier from Knight. It was to do with the topic at the time, but we couldn't get round to it. What height is everybody? This is a small question. It's only going to be. It was relevant earlier. Yeah, height. It was relevant because we're talking about the Vikings, like the height difference.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I'll ask it later. But yeah, I'm like 5'7", which is 171 centimeters for the US guys. What are you,
I'm
Artemis?
5'6".
You're 5'6". Oh, we're similar. Oh yeah, we're similar. Hi, I've met you.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm 5'6". I don't know what that is in centimeters. It's like what?
169.
Or 60. Oh, okay. Well,
169.
selling myself short there.
Would you like to go ahead, Artemis? Do you want to answer?
I'm 5'3".
Me too.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's little.
I'm kind of short.
Twiggy, if you say
I'm
6
happy
foot, 6
to hear.
foot.
No. I was happy to hear that you two were shorter because I am average height. I'm 5'5", which is average.
Yeah.
Is it average for Norway?
That's average for women. Yes.
In
Oh
Norway.
my god!
Mhm.
What? I wonder what the average is for Swedish women because I've seen some tall girls walking around here.
I am so surprised.
I've had this discussion many times. I am perfectly average, so it's just been tested.
I think I'm average in the UK.
I am
average height is like 5'6".
Only 1 inch shorter than average in the US.
I find
So
I find that
really the average?
yeah
5'4".
yeah 5'4" is the average in the US,
Oh,
and Canada's
you're
even
not that
smaller.
Yeah,
fine.
like
It's
we're
only
not that
5'3".
short. We're basically
My
average.
license says
Round
I'm 5'4". I didn't tell them to put that. I just don't
Nice. It's fine. Just take that extra inch. It's all right. Why not?
When I drive, I am 1 inch taller.
It's okay. When we get older, we'll be like really small. Oh my god, yeah. Like when you get older and you're like a little bit older. But I was like, I was a little bit shorter. But my mum, she thought she was 5'7". She went and got measured. And I was like, you're not 5'7", because I am. I'm taller than you by a lot. She went to the doctors. She was so upset. They were like, no, you're 5'4.5", and she was like, I have shrunk. And I'm like, Mom, you're in your like, you're about to turn 60. Of course, you're not that height anymore. And she was adamant she's the same height her whole time. I was like, no, once you get older, you shrink. Nothing you can do
I don't know
about
if y'all
it.
can hear the storm outside.
I
No,
can
I
hear
heard a
it.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, so wait, is this actually a question? Oh, it is a question. Okay, all right, it's just a long one. Okay, so Rogue Max has asked, my daughter is 10 and really loves art. Where would you suggest she starts to progress her work? That is to you, Red, because I think you're the only artist here. Could be wrong.
She's 10. She loves art.
Yeah.
Like, in what? Like, sorry. Read the question again.
So,
That's okay.
her daughter is 10. She really loves art. Where would you suggest she starts to progress her work?
Progress her work, like, as in, like,
Get
post
better.
or just progression, like
Just progression, yeah.
Just get better. To be fair, this is I get a lot of people asking me this now, like, oh, how can I get better? How can I do this? It's like, as long as she's enjoying it, if she's 10, like, then make sure you're providing her as much as you can. I know art materials are so expensive, and they're really expensive. With as many different mediums as possible, because you just like, I started off like doing like high realistic pencil work, but now I've fallen in love with watercolors and I can't get away from that. So do you know what it's like? It's like the streaming thing, variety. Like,
Yes.
do the variety. That's kind of been probably the biggest thing that has helped me with my art over the years. I've been a working artist for pretty much most of my adult life, and I was always creative when I was younger and stuff. And it's different mediums, exploring how to use different paints, different pencils, pastels, sculpting. Like, it doesn't just have to be on paper. And that's probably like what I would say. Like, I would say, like, as many different mediums as possible. And art is, this is another thing. I was talking to chat about this actually today and yesterday, and I was like reference, like, and when I say that, I mean collect art, go and see it, buy books. Like, I have a whole shelf of books downstairs, how to draw water, I got a book like this thick on just drawing the human head. It's like study. You don't have to go to university or to college to do that. There's so many awesome resources for you to do that. Like, if you want to study art history or something like that, then yeah, absolutely go down the education route. But now with YouTube and content creators, There's so many people doing amazing tutorials and, you know, things like that. I'm constantly studying everything, you know, always. And that's how you kind of progress. Like it's a practice, and the more you do it, the better you get. I think that's probably the best way I could answer the question. So provide her with as much material, you know, if she doesn't like it, okay, whatever. But go and see art, all different types of art, even art you don't think she's interested in. Like, because even when I was younger, hitting the galleries and just seeing, like, you know, just big, fine, boring oil paintings that are of, I don't know, a ship crashing on the waves that someone did. But it's like, if you're interested in art, you look at that stuff differently. Like, so as much injection of medium as possible and reference, like, is where I would say. I mean, she's 10, so she's going to absorb all of that. You know, when you're young and you're just like, I can learn anything. And then you get older and you're like, I'm trying to learn another language and it's failing. So yeah, that's probably the best advice I could give there. Encouragement as well. Art's interpretive. Everything she does is going to be awesome.
Well, while we're on the topic of art, there is another dual question here from Meadow, I believe. So, did you find you discovered more of your core community / true fans by making the switch to painting? And did you find a sense of entitlement from viewers over demanding a certain type of content like ASMR? That is more towards you, yeah.
I was quite surprised that more people did not moan, but today we had 2 moaners. We had 2 moaners, and I was like, well, I put what I did was I put a sub goal up and was like, ah, you want ASMR? There it is. Like, you know what to do, chat. You know what to do. I'm just gonna say it. The people that really care stay, and that's all you need. That's all you need. Do not look at the viewer count. Who cares? Like, the numbers were bigger during ASMR, but the community is tighter and more awesome. Not that I don't love everybody else that was there, but I focus on the people that are in the chat and not the people that aren't, or the people that are watching. Not just chatters, lurkers as well. Everyone that is there, that's who my focus is on. Everyone that isn't there, I don't need to worry about them. Like, don't worry about them. So I actually was really surprised by the response from my community when I just sprung it on them. They just came into stream. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, "We do this now. This is what we do now." Like, and they were just like, "This is great." Like, you know, and then you realize, like, that it's like, there's a big part of it, and this is what we were talking about, like the biggest takes from it, and it's like the family and the core. Then you really realize that it's like, it's not just about the content, it's about you, it's about the community. Those people, they truly are there to support you, and they're enjoying your time, they're enjoying your company, you're enjoying their company, and that's community. The community isn't necessarily the content. The community is, I think, for me, the relationship between us and people that are part of it. You know, that's the core. So so I've actually found it a really pleasant experience. You know, if you don't freak out about your number drop, you know, it's like, but who cares? I've literally been covering up the view count. I've been like, nope, not gonna look at it. Who cares? It's been great.
Yeah, that's great advice as well, especially for a Rogue's Kid as well as, you Meadow. And apparently, sorry, Miv, you're also an artist as well.
It's okay.
Oh, you do art?
Yeah, mostly digital art.
Coming to watch.
Like cutesy, cartoony stuff.
No, that's cool.
Hey.
Yeah. But my mom is also an amazing artist, so she definitely nurtured that. Like, I grew up seeing her art around the house, so.
Oh,
definitely.
that's sweet.
Yeah, and I thought it was so cute when I saw her say that.
So you do cute cartoons?
Yeah, like just like cute little illustrations when I have time and like design my merch and stuff.
Oh, I gotta keep. Have you got any merch on you? Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Oh,
Don't know if you do. If you
I have
don't,
a hat
don't worry.
right here.
Hey, oh, that's sweet.
It's very simple, and then on the back, I do like bad drawings, is what I call them, with my chat in MS Paint with my mouse, and I always sign them like this, so I put on the back of my hat.
That's very cute.
That's okay. I mean, like I also do MSN Paint, but it's not good. It's the frog. That's it. Not even like that. It's nothing out. You could not put that anywhere. But
art is interpretive.
It's the funny part is my mum's actually an art teacher. My grand's an art teacher. No, nothing like what they do. I literally can do a stickman and frog apparently, and that's about it. So I'm very like I love watching art streams, so I'm going to be tuning in a lot more to catch you lives, both of you, in fact, when I get up early enough for Razors, because I'm lazy.
I'm an early bird.
Yeah, I'm a night owl. I don't get up. Never. We had one for I believe it's mostly towards Artemis because of the plushies. Where did you get most of your plushies from?
My community. I didn't actually buy most of these. Yeah, so I got a PO box, and people just started sending me stuff. So I can't really tell you exactly like where they got them from. I'm pretty sure most people got them on Amazon. But we just got 2 new ones today. I don't know if you can see the Grimace back here. I don't know if you guys know like the Grimace trend where you're like on TikTok they would drink the Grimace shake and then something bad would happen. Well, I was showing everyone like the trend, and I'm weird, and I felt bad for Grimace. I was like, wow, that's so sad that like, you know, everyone's making fun of Grimace for his birthday. And I started crying on stream because it just made me sad because I was like, imagine if you had a milkshake and no one showed up to your birthday party. So then, as a joke, I got sent Grimace plushies. So a lot of them like come from places. So like that's the story behind those. But yeah, I just get sent them. Depends on this weird season of streams that I'm in, or like weird things I say. But yeah,
makes sense.
That's
and
so funny.
we have one slightly similar for Twiggy as well. What is to your? I believe it's to your right, is what they've asked. What is in the background? Not that side, the other side. I think they're.
Side? You mean my pile of clothing, mess, everything?
I think the person was implying it could be a dead body, is what they're trying to ask here. So,
I mean, maybe.
There's a dog character in the background.
There's a dog back there. I got some plants on the table. This is all just mess. These are books. That's mostly what I got back there. Oh, and I have the little Hollow Knight shade and a painting back there.
That's so cute.
It's a little bit of everything in back here.
And we have one. It's a stupid question as well. I will allow it because it's a funny one to end the stream or end the podcast with as well, which is how many glasses should a normal household have, and does it count as a glass if it has a handle and or is made from plastic? Thank you, Lanford.
Of course.
Don't know from who's. It's from your stream.
No, it's
Twiggy,
a cup.
Is it?
Okay, can I give context for that question?
Yep, go ahead.
I bought an apartment like a year and a half ago, and it came with a singular glass. I never bought any glasses after moving here, so I've been drinking off of a wine glass for like over a year. And then chat gave me shit about it, so I bought 2 new glasses, and then they tried to argue that they don't actually count as glasses.
Okay.
So that's the context behind the glasses question. You can answer now.
Don't let chat take away your pimp wine glass.
Yeah,
But
keep it.
It is a great glass to drink from.
Sophisticated,
valid.
just, just like
I have to have a sippy bowl because I spill everything, and electronics.
I mean, you count it more as a mug glass if it had handles. I don't know.
But
It's
is
a
it
cup.
clear? Is it see-through?
Okay, no, I'm
It's see-through and it's
I want to
plastic.
see.
See-through
Oh, it's
plastic, and it has
plastic?
a handle.
It's
Yeah,
for
because
children.
That's what you said. You said it's plastic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's a cup.
that's a cup.
Okay.
That's for
The
children.
last time I went out traveling, I found this, which is a glass. It's
Oh, no.
see-through. It has a handle, but this is a glass.
But is it glass?
Is it
It's
glass?
hard plastic.
No,
But it's
no, it's a cup. It's a see-through
No,
cup.
it's not a cup.
Oh no.
That's a cup.
It's
a
not
cup.
meant for warm
Question.
Yeah.
To me, they're the same. That's the same thing. What are you? What's a cup?
What?
How
What
is
do you mean
a cup
what's a
different
cup?
from a glass?
Glasses and cups are.
Glasses
Glass.
and cups are the same.
Or maybe that's like a it's got to be made out of glass.
Has to be made out of glass to be glass.
That's why it's called a glass.
See, we're American. We're cheap. Everything's plastic.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it is
can't
glass, but it's also a cup.
No, we wouldn't have anything. I mean, like, okay, I hate plastic cups because when I was a kid, right, even up until the stage I was 16, we were always told, no, kids have to have the plastic cups, right? So as a kid, I hate it, and I was still the oldest. So I remember Mum saying, no, plastic cups for kids, right? Even at Christmas, it'd be the same stuff. And I hate plastic cups since then. So that's probably I have a hatred towards them. I don't know. There's not a single plastic cup in this house. Not a single one. I wouldn't lie. No way. It's all glass cups. So I don't know. I have a bias. I don't think I should answer this one.
I would say that it has a handle, so it's a mug.
But it's not meant for warm liquids. Like, I don't think you could put anything warm in here.
But it's plastic. You could.
It's not a cup. You can still have like a cup that you don't put hot liquids in.
Yeah.
A mug
But
is
when
still
I-
a cup, though, right?
When I think mug, I think of
I
like
have that mug.
Yeah,
with
mug and a
coffee or
cup.
tea. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
but I
those
mean,
are
it looks
different
like the
things.
shape that you should drink coffee or tea out of, and I just don't think water would taste as good out of it.
I have.
I
had
think
water
things
from it, and it's
they
been great.
taste different when the shape is different, right?
Yes.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so too. Same
It's
with
why the
chocolate.
wine glass is such a good glass. Everything tastes great from it.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
Don't let them take away your wine glass.
No, and
Thank
if
you.
if you're
Don't let
happy
them.
with your cup / mug / glass, I support you.
You know what? I'll take it. Thank you.
I
Reluctantly,
disagree,
I will accept it.
but I'll accept. Bye.
Yep, each to their own. Yep, definitely. I'll just say it's a Twiggy thing, and well.
It's a cup. It's a cup, chat. It's a cup.
It's not a cup. It's a glass.
We agree with you,
It's
chat.
not made of glass.
It's a glass.
The other thing that's been mentioned, it is from somebody specific community, which is for Artemis. I don't know what this is about, but ask Artemis, why do they shower with wet socks on?
Oh no! Oh no!
Do you shower with socks on?
Okay. So, you know how have you ever been like bored of like, not like bored of streaming, but like there's not a lot going on. So I'm the kind of person, like, I live for the drama, but as long as it's not like actual drama. So I decided to start some stuff. So I go to Twitter and I start telling everyone how I love to shower with socks on. And everyone instantly, of course, thought it was weird. So I kept it up. And I started like telling people like fake benefits of showering with socks on. I don't know. I was just like coming up with stuff. I play Among Us and Goose Goose Stuck. I lie to people, you know? So I'm coming up with all these things. And I had actual people convinced that I shower with socks on. And then I got other people, like other streamers that I know, to start sending videos and posting them on TikTok and Twitter of them showering with socks on. And like other people started doing something that I've never done before. Like I don't shower with socks on, but I was telling people that I did. And I convinced so many people to, like, people in my community started like spamming my Discord of videos of them showering with socks on. There's people getting into their pools and hot tubs with socks on.
Oh
And,
no.
like,
So unpleasant.
You have just broken their dreams as well by telling them you don't actually do
oh
it.
no!
God.
But that's the thing. I did a subathon back in December, and this is after they found out that I didn't shower with socks on. So of course, one of the goals had to be me showering with socks on, and of course it gets hit. So I've taken a bath with socks on, with clothes on too. So that was an experience. Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'm speechless.
That's amazing.
I felt like
I feel
Twitter
compelled to
needed
send you a
something,
video
like-
though. In my shower with socks on.
I feel like you should try it. I mean, I've tried it.
How is
What-
it?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I didn't shower. I took a bath on stream. I wore a dinosaur outfit too at the same time.
Good God.
It just gets worse. Yeah, like you said, like Twitter is always like full of bad stuff. So I wanted to like add to
Make
the
you
drama,
happy.
but you know, in like a good way. I don't know. That's the shower with socks story.
It's so funny.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Yep. Seems legit. That's great
Who
advice.
doxed me?
Oh,
You know
who
who
was
said
it?
that? Yeah, who's
It was
doxing me?
a guy called Curry, or a girl,
Oh,
or they.
of course it's Curry. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody called Curry. Yep. Nice
I'm
food
having
though,
a chat
but
with Curry later.
I've tied it on you, Curry. I'm so sorry. To be fair, like I think I don't really do too much random stuff. More of my mods do. Like, for example, my mods come out with really crazy stuff. Not calling anybody out in particular, but apparently mushrooms and jellyfish are related. We have this debate every single month. They're not related.
Oh,
Um,
What?
Yeah, they're not related. They're definitely not. We are actually more closely related to plants ourselves than jellyfish and mushrooms are related. But yeah, and also mushrooms is slightly like flesh to me. So yeah, we're very closely related to mushrooms compared to mushrooms to plants. There you go, as a random fact. So you ever eat a mushroom and think it tastes funny compared to other ones? There you go. That's
So we're basically fungus.
no, we're just closer related to mushrooms than mushrooms are to plants.
Oh, okay.
Someone asked a good
Yeah.
question. How do you know what flesh
Anyways.
tastes like?
I don't, unless I've like bit myself.
Okay.
I mean, I bit myself, you know, as a kid a couple times. So like that texture of mushrooms, I feel like are the same texture. I don't like them. So no. We have another question. I'm sorry guys, I know we're trying to wrap up a little bit. If anybody else has another question, you better ask now instead of a crazy one. Is this 2 questions, mods? There was a question about height earlier. Queen should definitely ask Twiggy about the pictures with PD recently.
No,
PD?
that's all right.
Okay, I'll move on then.
I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, and then the next one is, does Artemis play D&D? Because I really want to see them play as a rogue, and they're like the perfect casting for it. From Meadow.
I've never played D&D, no.
There you go. There you go. Maybe you're missing out there. Oh my god, is that the picture? Yeah, that's a crazy height difference. That's a crazy height difference.
He is 2 meters, which I think is 6'5" or 6'6".
Whoa!
6'6".
Oh, wow.
6'6"
So
at me.
tall.
He's that's taller than Blue, so yeah, 6'6". That's a giant. That's a giant. Is it 6'7"? 6'6.5", maybe. Might be on the verge. Or 5'19". Yeah. Zara's going in here. Zara's got all the. This actually, Zara's the one who asked that question, by the way, earlier on, Twiggy. So if you wanted somebody to blame, it's them. What's your favorite horror game to stream? That is to everybody. If you do stream horrors.
Oh my god,
Stream horror, but none of them. I hate it.
I play
Only-
horror.
I
hate
do it for
horror
my
games.
community. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so
I do it for
scary.
everyone else and not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite developer of horror games is Chilla's Art. They do Japanese
Okay.
horror games. They're short and they're fantastic. A hidden gem that I think a lot of people haven't played is At Dead of Night, which is fantastic. It's an FMV point-and-click horror game. So good, fantastic. If you want other horror game recommendations, let me know. But those are my 2 mentions.
Please don't give my community ideas.
Yeah, in
I will
isolation.
prepare a list for you.
Please. Please.
The panic.
I love you in isolation.
Mortuary's
but
assistant
I
for
want to
you.
finish. Oh, that one's awful. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, I
suggestion.
played that yesterday.
Oh,
No.
did you do it for sub goal or did you do it because?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
thank
didn't
God,
want
at least.
to, no.
No,
I
I
don't want
was
to
about to
now.
say.
Absolutely not.
Oh dear. And the
God,
other one
I see
is.
my mods taking notes. No.
Oh, I think so.
Leave me alone.
The last question I'm going to entertain, guys, that's it, close because they were past time, is who bullies their mods the most?
I would never.
Oh, I give them shit.
My mods say that I keep them in a basement.
So do
Well,
I.
yeah, you're a simmer.
Yeah, I let them out.
It has air conditioning though. They've actually built it in The Sims.
They built it. That's
They
great.
have. Yeah.
They've planned it all. They've planned it all. They know
Every
place.
opportunity I get.
they've got to go.
Every opportunity. Because they're a bunch of trolls.
Yeah.
Lovable trolls. But, like, it's the little things, you know? Jab the
Yeah.
mods.
I think you mod the best trolls because the ones that are budget trolls, like little trolls, right, or Walmart for the US, right? The Walmart trolls are just too bad. They just come in and say something really stupid. You're like, ban you. But the ones that come in with something clever, you're like, you're mob material. It's fine. I might keep you.
Yeah, it's like, you can stay. You were funny.
Yeah, you were all right. We'll mod you.
We
You're
actually,
good.
we discovered a little bit of a secret that I'll share with you. It depends on your content, like, but So when trolls come in, we actually started stopping and giving them the attention that they want. And I tell you what, you never see anyone go so silent in the chat straight away. It's incredible. Mods, back me up. It's incredible. It's just like, okay, they've got something to say. Stage is yours, buddy. Everyone in chat's like, oh, wait, let's go. It's great content. And I tell you what, you never see anyone shut up so quick. Like, and most of them we don't have to ban. They just leave. They just leave. Try
I have
it.
the same experience.
You did the
It's
same?
great.
It's great. It's very empowering
Oh yeah.
on stream as well, because they come in and they're like, and you're just like, okay, wait, hang on, everybody, you guys in the back, shh. I have something to say. Let's listen to this. And it's brilliant. And they never think past the first stupid comment they come in with.
No.
Like, and then all of a sudden, yeah, literally, all of a sudden they're like, did she just say that was okay? Like, so the mods are like, they're not back. What? Oh, hang on, I can go through my. I haven't got any. I've got no. Just gonna go. It's great.
Exactly that. I think the only thing, like, so I don't ignore them in like or anything like that. I do not the exact same thing, but I will pick on them and I will go after them over and over again. And I'm hoping they argue with me until, like, unless one of my mods is in. My most serious mod is probably Sainty, right? He bans them instantly before I even get to annoy them or troll them. I don't even get to see the message. And I'm like, I look at the message, it's normally something to do with anti-LGBT people, right? Or something by God or something. And I'm like, I am your God in this channel. I'll laugh at them. I'll be like, I am the God. And they'll just be so upset. They'll be like, no. I'm like, no. In this channel, I am. You're talking about an Irish person, about religion. You're coming into my channel and tell an Irish person about religion. Don't be ridiculous, you know, that type of stuff. And they just get embarrassed and they start panicking and then they leave within like a couple minutes. I sit there and I look at the viewer list and I wait and I'm like, you still there? Anything to say? And they'll just go.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. I'm like, you're my entertainment, man. I have been waiting for you all day. Like, it's like you're in the wrong channel. But generally I find like those type of people don't swear, so they just come in with something absolutely ridiculous, and they're hilarious. They're so fun. They're so fun to wind up. It's great, but it is free entertainment, right? I don't think they
Sometimes
realize
stream is long.
free.
You have to just get your little bit of, oh yeah.
Pitchforks, essentially.
This is gonna be great, and we've all got that mod that just gets rhythm straight away, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, a mod like that.
oh, what? Why? Why?
It's like you want to have fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Just let me.
It's like a you know, you're not supposed to play with your food, but like.
But you play with your food.
Yeah. Oh dear. I think unless there's anything else, I don't think there's chat. I actually banned you all from asking any questions, but guys, that was a fantastic podcast. I appreciate every single one of you. What we're going to do is we're just going to do an outro. Everybody can say where to find you. I have a link that I'm going to, every time anybody's speaking, we're going to shout those out. But Artemis, where to find you, when are you next live, and yeah, your best socials to be found on.
Yeah, so I'm Artemis. I mean, I'm not really active on Twitter. I'm like forcing myself on Twitter, but I'm not on there much. I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitch, honestly. I have TikTok. Next time I'm live, I'm doing a subathon, and I've been live since the 22nd of July. So
Why? That was my
probably
birthday.
be here for a while.
Well done.
Yeah. Honestly, whenever. I'll probably be
Permanently live at this point.
Yeah.
She's here after the podcast, chat. She's still here.
Yeah. Probably for a while. Yeah.
Wait, how many hours have you got left of it? So still.
Okay, so I have like 18 and a half hours, but my community likes to do this thing where like they edge the timer, right? So I'll go down to like 30 minutes. And then I blink and I'm at like 50 hours. So they all like to wait. Like I'm pretty sure my mods have like they scheme when to plan stuff with my community, and they wait. They give me hope, and then bam, like this timer. It's been the same for like 2 weeks now. So.
That sounds about right for a Twitch
I don't know.
community.
Yeah, I don't know. It ends when they want it to end.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Twiggie, would you like to go ahead and tell us where to find you when you're next live?
Sure. I am not really active on any social media anymore. I'm mostly just on Twitch. I stream 5 days a week from 9 p.m. Central European Time, which is about 3 hours ago. So I'll be live tomorrow.
Fantastic. I just had to check all those links were working, but fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. It's still follow on the other platforms, though, of course, because, you know, it's always a boost. Anyway, so follow.
With activity, yeah.
Encourage Twiggie to be on the other ones. There you go. This is your goal, Twiggie's community. There you go. Just feel like, have you posted Instagram today? No? Okay, alright, fine. Or just
when
post
was
something
my last
super chat.
Instagram post? It was probably like 2 years ago.
I don't know, but I had to look at everybody's most active ones, and I was like, okay, this is Twiggie's right here. Because I went and looked at TikTok, and I was like, nope, it's not that one.
No.
So... Not that one. Oh dear. Razor, would you like to go ahead where to find you, and or what's the best socials to find you on, and also when are you next live?
You will find me on Twitter, Twitch, Kick, and Instagram. And I am live Monday to Friday, midday to about 6 o'clock or so. Some days. Next week we're going to be going really late, so because we got big paint-in sessions. But I'll be live on Monday. Yeah, I don't do TikTok. I hate it. I can't bothered. I can't do pre-recorded content. So I'm gonna be I have a YouTube, but don't bother, guys. Like, because you'll just moan and you'll be like, "Oh, don't you make YouTube content?" And I'll be like, "No, why'd you have one?" Well, you know, there was a time.
There was a potential.
I was like, and then I was like, I hate this. So I was like, no. So yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm split over like 2 platforms, mostly Twitch and Kick, but Twitter for when I'm going live posts. Furdies.
Yep, exactly that. Or other content. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen you post other things. I've seen today and the I think it was last week as well. And I was reading. They're good reads. I agree.
To be honest, if you're looking for a bit of spice, people, just head over to my Twitter. Just say it. Like, you know.
Exactly, it's spice. Yeah, I agree.
Spicy.
Miv, would you like to go ahead where to find you when you're next live?
Yes, I'm Mivyard on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, obviously Twitch. I'm gonna be live tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I mostly stream 1:30 p.m. Thursday through Sunday.
10 p.m. What's that for me? 6:30? 6:30? 5 hours? Wait, are you East or West Coast?
East.
Yeah, it is. After 6:30. Yeah. Okay. I was about to say, okay, this explains why I haven't seen you live. Now I figured it out. I've been trying to figure out why, and I was like, there you go.
So funny.
It explains so much to me. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the PG contest. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I will be linking you out throughout the day as much as I can. But thank you so much, guys. Absolutely fantastic. And guys, shout out to the Twitch Women's Guild as well, because without that guild, without Coco, without Chelsea, I wouldn't have met obviously everybody else in here, I think, bar Razor, who I met way before that, but everybody else here. Exactly. It was at a pub in EGX.
Yeah, EGX,
yes.
And then some various Twitch events.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for joining, and I'll have to pass up the love whenever I can to Artemis later. But guys, have a good night, and thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Bye.
It's fun.
All right. Guys, that is the end of the 9th PJ podcast. What do you think? Get any feedback? It's totally welcome to. I gotta say, I appreciate every single one of them, guys. They were fantastic.